What's up, everybody? Welcome to another watch along here live on the Sota Pod YouTube channel. Just got back from recording a podcast. Really excited to sit back, relax here, and watch this live game with you all joining us. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe and like. Whenever there is a game live on Sunday, you better believe that Hoppy and I from the Sota Pod will be doing a live watch along covering this game. Once puck drops, we will get the live stats up on the screen so you can follow us in time live for this game. If you just are joining after watching the Hockey Podcast Network's watch along Toronto Maple Leafs Buffalo Sabres, I mean, that was a hell of a game, and we welcome you all here as well. If you're just joining in throughout the stream, scrolling on a later date, if you just saw this video pop up, again, welcome you, subscribe to the channal. We not only do watch alongs, we also do live Minnesota Wild Talk every Sunday, as well as a podcast. But exciting game today, Hoppy, and we'll get into all of that, the implications for this game, because it's a dogfight out there right now in the Western Conference. But more importantly, it was the tribute not only the tribute, but the actual jersey retirement of MIKKO KOIVU before this game. So we'll open it up with asking you how the ceremony was, what your thoughts were on it, while we throw it to the comments as well throughout the stream, because it is a live watch along, which means we want to take your live comments throughout the stream on KOIVU, this game, and the MIKKO KOIVU ceremony as a whole. So I'll throw it to Hoppy here to start us off. Hoppy, how was the ceremony, and did it tug on your heartstrings at all?
I mean, it didn't tug on my heartstrings, to be honest. I don't know if there's any jersey retirement that would make me overly emotional, but
I mean, Sidney Crosby will eventually, right?
I mean, if I attended it in person, maybe.
Phil,
but for me, all right.
In Toronto,
I'm already emotional. That would be pretty cool. Hey, man, they paid him to win 2 cups in Pittsburgh.
Why not? But we digress.
But no, for the biggest thing that hit for me is just seeing how much this meant to him. Because all of us have kind of debated, hey, should he have his jersey retired? Should he be Ring of Honor? Should he be none of that? Whatever. End of the day, fans were largely excited about it, and it meant so much to him, man. You saw him get choked up in the speech. You saw the look on his face when the number went up to the rafters. Honestly, the only issue I have with any of this is that they have not yet removed number 1. Wild fans should not have a fucking jersey.
Yeah, it's putting us on Preds level, which we're welcoming them in the XL tonight.
Aaron, I respect it.
David joining us on the stream. What's up? David saying, let's go Prez. And Aaron saying, bro, I cried. I mean, look,
I respect it. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan as well. And when I watched actually the final Sedin game, when it was Edler to Sedin scoring the goal in overtime, you better believe that I cried too. I mean, that's sports, man. There's storylines in sports, especially with players in whom you're attached with, your home market, which are gonna tug on your heartstrings. So I understand that. And thanks, Aaron, for joining us. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. We appreciate it. We also have a podcast 5 days a week. We do Wild content or Minnesota hockey content on the Sota Pod.
I don't know if this is obvious or if it's something that will be new to you, but I always tied the Sedins and Edler together, not just because of what they meant and at the same time and for duration, but
heritage.
On top of that too, he was number 23 when one of them was 22 and one of them was 33.
Yeah.
And that always
it just
to me, I'm oh, he's the guy. I'm who's going to be number 32?
That's awesome.
And no one ever stepped up.
No, and he always just kind of fit. He was the other Swede there. He was that guy on the back end who they relied on, and as much as I ripped on Edler as a Canucks fan for breaking his stick all the time, I swear, I remember I did it was quirky and it wasn't the best math, but I did do a stick break percentage, and it was something crazy in college. It was insane.
Wait, what?
Just for how many shots he takes when I was in college and procrastinating. I decided instead of studying, I'd find that statistic.
That okay. I thought you were talking about when he was in college, which is why I was
Oh,
thrown
no.
off. But also, you have never once referred to your schooling as college.
It's America's rubbing off on me. All these friggin' Americans I'm working with, and no one
That's
says.
what confused me. I'm like, there's no way he's talking about when he was in college, because he would have said university.
No one says university in the States. So, and like, I don't hang out with any university students anymore here. So it's just like college is the only word I hear. Anyways, shout out to Shane Van Ice, by the way. A university, Vancouver Island University alumni, actually. There you go. I tried a porter yesterday and I liked it. There you go, Shane. Porter is less stouty stout, by the way. Only partially roasted barley.
Yeah, problem is, Shane, you're right. It's the roasting of the barley, and it's supposed to be alcohol like content. No one follows it. There's no rules. People just call it a porter or stout based on what they feel.
Brian saying go Preds. Aaron says, I'm a Soda Pod junkie, pal. Don't worry. Oh, look at that. What a beauty. Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, because we work really hard to bring as much content as we can to all you folks. So the fact that you support us, we really appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much.
Well, that means you already know that you should go out and get yourself some 7th Ave pizza.
Yeah, I don't even have to get into it. 7th Ave pizza, Northland vodka. And I know Sportsbook isn't available in Minnesota, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it on the live stream here.
Yeah, and hey, fuck Target. Get 7th Avenue pizza now.
Oh, shit.
You're causing challenges in my life. I went out and got this pizza, Isha, and my wife was out like shopping for a bachelorette party that she's got to coordinate for someone. And like, she's at Target telling me like, yeah, I'm going to get some pizzas. I'm like, wait, what kind of pizza? Because I know they don't have 7th Ave. She's like, I don't know. I was just going to find something. I'm like, don't you fucking dare. No. And she's like, fine, you better get the right kinds. I'm like, don't you worry. I got this.
Aaron asking, did you guys see Matthews go crazy? No, I didn't watch the Heritage class. Hoppy and I were actually recording our Monday podcast episode, Aaron, during it. I had
shocking thing though.
I had our boy Neil Villapiano on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel in the background, so I was hearing him comment about the game a little bit, but no, I didn't see it. So what happened? Let us know. Let us know what happened. Shane saying, yeah, it apparently had coconut. It apparently had coconut anything, but didn't taste at all like coconut. Interesting. Maybe using it for like the fatty part of it. I don't know if that contributes it to the flavor at all. Just because like coconuts, it's coconut oil, right? There's a lot of oil in coconut, so it's a fatty. I don't know. I'm just trying to spitball here. I don't know.
Pretty sure I don't know how flavoring, Isha.
I don't know how something with coconut in it couldn't taste like coconut, because I like coconut oil, but I don't like
the brewery didn't
flavoring.
Understand it, Isha. They literally just dropped full coconuts in. Yeah, it tasted really barky. I don't know.
She says, I was listening and typing at the same time. How apparently had real coconut in it. Okay, there you go. It's a comment-driven live stream, by the way, for those who are joining us here on this watch long. We will get the live stats up so you can follow along in real time once the puck drops. But yeah, comment-driven live stream. So get your live reactions, and if you're joining us on Twitter, by the way, just like ditch that stream and just join us on YouTube, because on YouTube you can actually get in on the action. You can comment in the live chat and we can actually interact together. Twitter, they took away that option. Periscope, it is no more. So jump on Twitter, or if you're watching us on Twitter, jump on YouTube. The link is actually in the comments. I just commented on that video there on Twitter. If you're joining us there, please come check us out on YouTube. We really appreciate it. And we want to interact with you all during this watch long. We will get the live stats up momentarily. Bosefist, what up? Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. As a fan of another team in the Central, hope this two teams beat the heck out of each other. Fair enough. I mean, and let's get into it a little bit.
Which team, both of us? Yeah.
Let us know what team, first of all. I think I know, because you joined us before. But let us all know here. And it's a very important game for both of these teams. But I mean, the Minnesota Wild, the Dallas Stars, the Nashville Predators, I mean, in their respective division, they're all fighting. But in the greater landscape of the Western Conference, I mean, the Canucks are in there too. The Kings are in there. It's a battle right now, just to even get an idea of what the playoffs are going to look like right now. I mean, there's still the teams at the top, Like the one or two teams at the top. But in the West in particular right now, Hoppy, it's kind of a little bit more of a mixed bag compared to the East. What are your thoughts?
The West is a clusterfuck.
It's crazy.
Can't be understated. There's a lot of teams that could. I don't know if there's many teams that are safe at this point. Whereas in the East, like it is locked up. Like nothing's gonna change.
What have been some of the like the wild card teams for you in the West this year that you did not expect to be where they are at right now?
I mean, this one's a weird one, but I thought that the Canucks would be better to start. And then once they had their bad start, even with bringing in Boudreau, I did not think there was any chance they would do as well as they have. I genuinely think that they have an okay shot of being a wild card. I do.
I'm starting to come around to that as well. I'm pretty pessimistic Canucks fan. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, even despite the success that Boudreau has brought them, if you'd have told me that, I would have just still kind of laughed.
So as a Canucks fan, Aisha, keep or trade Miller in general, not to the Wild, just in general.
Keep, and you trade Bo Horvat.
Horvat, not Besser.
No, I mean, no, I'd rather you're 3 centers deep right now. You might as well, and you're gonna have to pay.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing unless Horvat's gonna want over $7.75 million. You can't pay him that. He's a 50-point player and he's very streaky and he doesn't play that well defensively. So it's like you invest that instead of 7.5 into Horvat, you get a defenseman for him, and you reinvest you back up the Brinks truck and you give Miller what he deserves, over $8 million.
So you think they're going to sign him again long term?
I think at the minimum it's a 5-year extension for Miller.
I don't think he accepts less than that. So yeah, you're correct.
It depends what the dollar looks like. It's going to be an interesting contract.
Sure, dude. If they want to give him a 12x4, he'll say yes, but you don't want to do that.
I didn't say 4. It's a minimum 5-year, and it's over 8.5.
And then I said there's no way it would be less, and you're like, well, it depends.
Aaron said Austin cross-checked Darlene in the head. No way. Is Darlene okay? And like, what happened? Because I did hear Neil, who was covering again, doing the watch along on the hockey podcast on our YouTube channel. He was going off about like, oh, there's a fight, this and that. Was it just out of frustration because they did lose the game. Shout out our boy Joey Neto. His Buffalo Sabres having I shouldn't say pretty good season, but having a better season than they've had in years past. And they've been awful in recent years. So Buffalo's actually like, again, I don't want to, because they've been so bad, I'm giving them a lot of credit. I don't want to even go as far as say like, oh, they're an exciting team now. But like every game I've watched, I haven't walked away making fun of the Buffalo Sabres like I've done the last few years, Hoppy.
Dude, I honestly don't think they're a bad team at all. They're obviously not going to make the playoffs, right? But that's the landscape that they live in. There's a lot of teams that the next couple of years, like who knows what the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Boston Bruins, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Washington Capitals, like there's going to be a lot of change. And as long as they end up being on the upswing and continue the positive progress they made, dude, I think that Wild fan demise, Alex Tuch, is going to be a long-time captain for that team. And I fucking love it.
Oh, how about that? Tuch winning that game, scoring the game winner in overtime or stealing the puck away from Jack Eichel.
That wasn't in overtime.
Or wasn't it? Sorry, what game winner?
It was an empty netter. It was not a game winner.
Okay, whatever it was.
He did steal it from Eichel, so that's good.
And scored there. Anyways, I comment, whatever the case, I commented on Twitter. I think it was Jen65 posted the clip of that. And I just comment saying this is one of the greatest moments in Buffalo Sabres history. And funny enough, the Sabres fans all like were replying, yes, this is amazing. You're totally right. And all the Vegas fans were just like, that's so fucking sad. Screw you, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought that was funny that like, look, the Buffalo fans agree. I don't care what the Vegas fans say, because this is amazing that Alex Tuch, spanked Jack Eichel there. Aaron said, yeah, he's fine, but Matthews was heated. First time I've ever seen him mad. I've seen him mad a few times. Not like,
I mean, there's different levels of
mad. The head
like
mad, but
every hockey player has been mad in a game, but there's definitely next levels.
Here's Neil, actually, the MVP show. Go check out his podcast. The Devil's State of Mind, if you're a fan of the New Jersey Devils, and also check him out. He's one of the faces of the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel, saying, "Sup, boys? How about the Heritage Classic game? Huh?" I mean, Aaron has just been filling us in about it. Neil, you were like,
I was too distracted by how fucking fresh the host looked for the live stream. So
yeah, I was just gonna say that tie and dress shirt, whew, very nice, very nice. He even got a donation because of it, Hoppy. So there you go.
Baby.
Anything else leading up to this game that we should tee up here, Hoppy, for any Minnesota Wild viewers that may jump in or who are joining or who are viewing right now, or any Preds fans? Because we had a few comments, go Preds here off the bat.
Yeah, I'd love to hear for the Preds fans that have joined, because I'm the worst one to ask. I'm genuinely curious if you think that your team is either a playoff team, contender, neither. Like, where do you see the Preds finishing the year? Because I just want to know. It's
because I have their hockey DB up right now, just looking at the statistics from their players this season. I know points don't tell the whole story. I know that, but they are deep right now, at least scoring wise, right? Their team looks like the Minnesota Wild in that they have a lot of high scoring players on this team. Roman Jost is obviously leading at 62 points. Duchesne's having a hell of a year, over point per game, 57. Forsberg's killing it in 51 points. And Johansson's actually playing well, 40. Granlund in the 40s. I don't even know who Tanner Gionot is. He's got 33. Then there's a slew of guys.
You don't know who Gionot is?
No, not really. I've seen him.
He's a sick rookie.
Okay, well, then he's sick. But they're deep, man. I think it's, you got to scroll down to see someone not in the double digits of points on this team, and even then they're in 35 games.
Wild fans will be mad. Preds fans won't. Gino currently has way more reason to be a final for the Calder than Boldy does.
Undrafted?
Maybe.
He's undrafted out of Moose Jaw. AHL, ECHL route. Got a shot last year, impressed. Fucking dominated in the AHL. Yeah, I just have his career up in front of me. What a cool story. And the 24-year-old Saskatchewan boy crushing it. I love it. Cool story. Cool story,
bro.
The Preds fans have left the chat.
Oh, all right. Later.
But again, for the division, this game is huge, and we said that in the last game we did last week, actually, with the Dallas Stars coming to town. That was a huge game too. The Wild didn't have their best performance in that one. Mm-hmm. I mean, so we talk about that rookie on their team. He's unbelievable. Robertson.
You don't even know who he is. Robertson's not a rookie.
Well, sorry, not the rookie, but the young player. He should have won the rookie award against Kirill Kaprizov. Now looking at
Stop
he's
it. He is a lot better than people wanted to give him credit, though. They thought he was a flash in the pan, had a lucky good year. He's driving a lot of the offense for that top line of Dallas, who is arguably a top 5 first line in the NHL right now.
100 points in 100 games. What a beauty.
Damn.
These two teams have similar records. Yeah, similar records, similar build. In that, they don't have a top center carrying them. They have just a different positional player carrying them, and they're just deep. They're 4 lines deep. They can score, but they don't have a Kirill Kaprizov. They may have a Philip Forsberg. They may have a Roman Josi. They don't have a Kirill Kaprizov. So,
well, what's crazy though is this is a team that was very much selling off and trying to rebuild. They sent away Ryan Ellis. They sent away Victor Arvidsson, and here they are still very much in the mix. And I mean, Isha, I'll give you a second here to just, I don't know if you need lotion or a little alone time, but talk about your boy UC Saros.
Oh man, he's one of the best goaltenders in the league. I said it last year, he was a Vezina candidate in my opinion. He was up there. I thought he probably should have won the thing, because if without him, the Predators wouldn't have been competitive at all last year. And this year, I don't want to say he's the reason, but he's definitely part of the reason. Bailing them out.
No, he's the reason. He is the reason.
He's not. They have a lot of depth scoring this year too, which they didn't have last year. So that is
fine. But without him, they're not there. Just like the Rangers, man.
92 save percentage, 2.4 goals against average. Jesse Saros is one of the best goaltenders in the league. Top 3 right now, in my opinion. He's up there.
Top 3?
Yeah. It's Vasilevsky, Markstrom, Jussi Saros.
No, because you left out the best, so that was dumb.
Sorry, Thatcher Demko at the top.
Sure. Still missing Shesterkin, but
we'll see.
So look at that. He's already pushed down to 5. Should we keep going? See if we can get him.
No, he's not pushed down at all. No, Shesterkin can have the lure.
Shut up.
But anyways, no, he's unbelievable. So that's gonna be tough for the Wild tonight. I mean, they had a tough time scoring in Columbus against the Columbus Blue Jackets, rather.
Merzlikins is solid, and they play.
No, I know, but I'm just saying Merzlikins is solid, but Saros he's way better. He really is.
I think you can get better chances against this Nashville team, though.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
If the Wild are up to the task, which who knows?
No, that's a good point. So puck should drop soon here. I got the broadcast up finally. It was obviously like a little bit of just, I don't want to say delay, but just pushed because of the whole ceremony and whatnot with KOIVU.
Well, the jerseys, Isha, did you see the jerseys in warmups?
No.
So
my broadcast just started. Yeah,
they were glorified practice jerseys, but it was everyone had their number like on the arms, but on the back of their jersey, it was KOIVU 9.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
And you know they're going to sell those for like $1,000 a pop because that's how people work.
Yep. No, yeah, the Vancouver Canucks had their Hockey's for Everyone jerseys, which were honestly some of the coolest stitching jobs I've seen for a hockey jersey. Very, very, like, it was a bunch of like orcas like swimming together. Nice. But within the orca and
fuck that.
Anyways, $650. Doesn't matter how beautiful the design is. That's fucked up.
Well, that's $650 Canadian though.
It's still crazy when like you can go and in a silent auction and walk away with like a signed, black skate Demko jersey for like $400.
Jeez.
And you can't even get, a warm up jersey for an event. I remember it just set up for a great slew of comments on Twitter. Using the hockey is not for everyone who can't pay $650 for a practice jersey, X, Y, and Z. So it did make for some comedy on Twitter. I'll say that, but yeah, it sucks. I mean, do the Wild do that as well? Do they upcharge like special event jerseys, like an astronomical amount?
Everyone does because people will pay for it.
Like maybe I'm naive. I've never until the last 2 years.
It's usually a bidding process.
I've never seen it.
It's usually bidding.
Okay, see,
which at that point it's like out of right.
Yeah, that I understand, but I've never seen like straight up at the team store.
No, so
who has $650 after going to a game? Like,
and if it's a generic, right? Like if it's like, hey, we have this jersey that we're just gonna sell off the shelf, like no, they don't charge $650 for them by any means. It's usually like, hey, here's this special event. It's game worn and warm ups, and it's got the player's name, and they'll either charge heavily for it or put it up for bidding, and then people make themselves pay heavily for it. So,
and these weren't even game worn. That's what's crazy. They
always call it that. Yeah.
These had tags on them. It was nuts.
But still, the Kaprizov one will probably go for like $2,000 because that's just how it works.
No, yeah, and again, that I can somewhat understand. It's hockey memorabilia, not something you're gonna fucking play ball hockey in. Hockey is for everyone that can afford $650 jersey. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's a funny joke to make, but like at the end of the day, hockey is for everyone has nothing to do with whether you can afford a special jersey.
No, exactly. And I mean,
I still appreciate the joke. It's funny.
Yeah. And the Canucks do a really good job with these type of events. They did like, I forget the name of the event off the top of my head. There's an East Indian holiday, a huge East Indian population in Vancouver. And they did like, they had dedicated
doesn't
practice.
Sound like you care very much about them.
No, shut up. Dylan went to the game. He cares more about them than I do, apparently. I just don't want to butcher the name. I don't know the exact pronunciation, so I'm not going to even.
That doesn't stop you from saying words.
Diwali night? I don't know. Something like that, okay? Anyways, they had beautiful jerseys there. Practices, they probably went for fucking $600 too. Shit, knocked down Snoop Dogg here. I'm trying to think of they had Chinese New Year. They had some unbelievable jerseys as well.
That could be really good.
Oh, dude, they were so sick. They were so nice.
There had to have been like a dragon.
Yep. Well, I think whatever the year was.
Imagine replacing the whale with a dragon.
I'll find them and send them to you. They were sick. I think they started to do one now every year because again, big East Indian population and Chinese population in Vancouver. So those definitely went off the shelf. But again, I didn't remember seeing them for that much. But again, maybe I'm naive. I haven't gone to a live Canucks game in over 3 years now because of the pandemic and me usually just going to one NHL game a year anyways, because it's kind of a trek to get to the mainland from the island. Fuck, Snoop Dogg's little tumble here took out the on-air sign. It looks like lost a little of its shine.
The sign looked fine to me.
Oh, that's why. Took out the batteries from it. Anyways. We'll fix that in intermission. Puck
Apparently
is
we're not
about
on air.
Yeah. Now we're not on air. The sign says we're not on air, folks. Again, it's a comment-driven live stream. Really excited to sit back and watch these games with you. Once the puck drops, the excitement will start. We'll get the live stats and scores up on the screen so you can follow along with us. There it is. Watching the broadcast right now. KOIVU's beautiful number 9 banner hanging from the Raptors. Unbelievable. The Wild have a big home stretch starting tonight, if I'm not mistaken, Hoppy.
It's
Isn't
like 9 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 8 or 9 games coming up. Generally, the Wild do play really, really good at home, so that could play in their favor. But one thing I don't think enough people are talking about, and it's funny because we all talked about it prior to the Wild's heavy schedule this second half of the season. We all talked about how it could probably give them trouble. It started to give them trouble, and we all start blaming other things. Today, I was thinking about it. I was like, can we just take a step back and go back to maybe they're just fucking tired? They're humans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I know they're professional athletes, but they're professional athletes who have trained to play an NHL schedule, not this unique NHL schedule.
Yeah, but guess what? 3/4 of the teams are going through the same shit. So sorry, that's not acceptable.
Fair, but it could just be a factor that I don't think anyone's talking about. I don't want to say it's the excuse, the be all end all. But
I'm with you. I get it. I understand
too much goaltending hate.
But if the other team's going through the same thing, should that really actually be a factor?
Is it every team, or is there a few teams in particular that have it? Most? Okay.
It's definitely not all of them. There's some that ended
Eastern
up okay
teams,
with this,
who can literally drive their own car to.
I actually think Canadian teams are in it way worse than the Wild are because they had a bunch of games that got pushed because they couldn't have anyone in the rinks. So
right. Canadian teams have it pretty rough anyways with other travel, so they're probably just used to it. I know Vancouver is anyways.
The ones that choose to be in Canada come to America.
Choose to be in Canada. Come on.
Come to America.
You got to entertain Canadians somehow, Hoppy. If we didn't have hockey, what the fuck would we do?
Why can't you watch hockey that's happening in the U.S.? You're doing it right now.
Ask ESPN.
You're doing it right now.
I am. Not through an ESPN, though.
Good. Fuck them.
It's because Canada needs at least one sports broadcaster, right? We only have 2. Whereas there's so many in the States, I can't even count.
Yeah, not many of them cover hockey.
That is true. What have you liked better this year, TNT's coverage or ESPN?
Definitely TNT's.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Everyone will get upset about the Anson Carter stuff and whatever, and
or just Biz being there. In general.
People don't like Biz being Biz. Gretzky's been pretty vanilla, to be completely honest.
I was going to say drunk.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I do think that a lot of their conversation and the diversity of that cast is good. I like that. That gets conversation going. I'm not watching that to hear expert analysis. I want to hear debate. I almost get more joy. The reason that I started listening to podcasts in general and why I listen to some of the broadcasts, I want to argue with them. It's I want to hear their opinion and I want to say why I think I'm smarter, even though I'm probably not.
That's how Hoppy and I even connected.
ESPN's been rough. The actual live coverage is more my issue there. And I'm actually surprised. People are definitely way more ruthless than they should be. But after her coverage of college hockey last year, I thought Leah Hextall would be great. She hasn't been that great.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of hype. Haven't been a big fan either.
But some people are fucking ruthless, and it's chill out. If you care that much, hit mute. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, some people are just being they're being mean for other reasons, not just critical of the actual execution of the job.
But there's not much that ESPN has that interests me. And people will say how gimmicky Buchagras is. I at least appreciate what he's done to make hockey relevant for ESPN and like what he's done for the college game in particular.
Yep.
I got no problem with his coverage. To be completely honest, it's Barry Melrose, who I think is just a fucking dunce. Dude's a moron.
Dude, that's so funny. I remember our boy at Hold the Mayo, and he was always just like, I know hockey. I know Barry Melrose. I'm like, yeah, you don't know hockey.
Dude, Barry Melrose is an idiot.
I mean, you got Stephen A. too covering hockey, which let's put it in. Stephen A. knows just as much about hockey than he fucking does about the UFC, because UFC fans hate him, Hoppy. Like, they hate this guy.
I appreciate him, though. He's done a good thing with that brand. And, dude, tell me that him
I get his style.
talking
Don't get me
about
wrong.
UFC and talking about hockey doesn't help both those sports. Because it fucking does.
I don't think it helped UFC. It did help hockey.
Why? Why is there a difference?
Because UFC will never be mainstream like the big sports, and so you have to keep the cult following happy. They were not happy, and they probably took a hit because of it.
That's stupid. Well, then that's
on
the cult following. They're the ones that are stopping the sport from growing.
And 100% they are. I'm just laying it out how it is. It's still like, it's way newer than obviously like the big four, but even like take the early 2000s and 90s just even out of the equation, and like UFC it still was just a Wild West martial arts tournament versus an actual sports league, which I would say didn't really become relevant until the Reebok deal and them getting on Fox TV in like 2011. So like until then is where I really considered that the UFC anyways brand of MMA like an actual league. And so it's still so new in that there's in the fan base alone and league wide, there's still a lot of, kinks to sort out. They're the only league that doesn't have I was going to say players, but the fighters don't have a collective like bargaining agreement. They don't have a union, nothing. So it's just like, it's the fucking Wild West.
Yeah. Before the game starts, Isha, deep inside the Hadron Collider, physicists hurtle subatomic particles with lightning speed on a collision course at each other. They do so in the pursuit of pure science, in the hope that of one day being able to unlock the mystery of the elusive unseen fabric upon which our universe is embroidered, dark matter.
Unbelievable. Some Vancouver Island flavor.
The can is sweet.
It's awesome. And I was telling you about this one, and I've talked about in a few Sota podcast episodes. We do a lot of craft beer talk. If you're just joining us here on the live stream on our podcast, that beer is a huge hit on Vancouver Island, specifically with the university crowd. It's like a rite of passage to get a Dark Matter hoodie or shirt in university if you're going to the University of Victoria. And funny enough, it's not an IPA or a lager that has become like the students, and ironically have that built a cult following, especially with the students on Vancouver Island, Southern Vancouver Island. It's the Phillips Blue Buck, which is a dark beer, and the Dark Matter. So
interesting.
Thoughts? How do you like it?
Can definitely drink it. I will say that it's like very lacking of flavor for me. Like it's very light, like doesn't have a whole lot to it, but it's not like it tastes good. Right?
It's an easy drinking dark beer.
I just wish there was more flavor to it, but you're totally right. Like this is a dark beer that like you'd have no problem like drinking in the summer. But
and it's good to get people into drinking.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good gateway to darker beers. Yeah, for me, it's just not what I look for in a dark beer, but by all means, especially like to your point, if it's someone that hasn't really gotten into dark beers and wants to start a little softer, like this is a really good entry point. And again, it's a good beer. I can't even pick up on any specific flavors in it. It's very like standard, basic dark beer.
Yep.
And I just wish there was a little more to it, but it is still a good beer, no doubt.
It's one of them. Yeah, it's like one of those mainstays.
It's better than the
Nanaimo bar.
Yeah, better than Nanaimo bar.
Yeah, well, and that's what's interesting about it too, right? They didn't go crazy because it was. I think they accomplished exactly what they wanted with it. Was we don't want our flagship / most popular beer amongst the younger crowd to be just another IPA or lager. We want something cool. We want something we can brand differently and then sell merch with. And they hit the nail on the head, because you can literally find a Dark Matter hoppy, like I said, in any even small little pub, outside of like a main city on the island. They'll have Dark Matter on tap.
It makes a little bit more sense then that this is like that widespread. Like this is a very approachable, easy to drink beer. that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's not Hoyne's best. Like when you come and visit the island, we'll go to Hoyne, and they're truly outstanding, much like Phillips. I've had this comment on the screen for a little bit, so I'll just address it quickly here. And KOIVU just giving the boys a handshake on the bench too. I love it. I've never had a live stream that was supposed to start at 4 or at the time go 40 extra minutes, but that's jersey retirement night for you folks. Shane said hockey in general is an expensive sport to play. No, 100%.
Extremely expensive.
It's the reason why I didn't play with my mom coming from the city in Seattle where they didn't have hockey at the time, and my dad from freaking Iran. They were like, we ain't spending money for you to play hockey, and we can buy you a freaking soccer ball, bud.
Dude, that was the thing though. I am a first generation hockey player. Like my parents very much had zero hockey background, even though it's hilarious. Their first date was a North Star Blackhawks game.
That's amazing.
But like would not have ever pushed me the direction of hockey if not for just literally all of my friends played hockey, which is why I started late. I'm just like, oh, I want to hang out with my friends. Can I try hockey? But it's just such a cult thing in Minnesota. Like,
oh, for sure.
It is what it is.
Well, I mean, and it's like that in Canada. It was like that in Prince George, BC, where I grew up as a kid. And I was born on the island, but I moved to Prince George when I was very young. And again, once puck drops, folks, I'll get the live stats up on the screen so you can follow along.
It's about to.
I know. I see it. Hockey was huge in Prince George. A BCHL team, WHL team, but soccer was just as big. As Prince George is the hub of northern BC. It's the biggest town city there. So that's where all the sports, where all the smaller towns would come and compete. So for me, my dad being a soccer guy and my mom being a city girl, they were like, yeah, oh, fuck hockey. Despite being in a hockey mecca of a town in BC, we're going with soccer.
It's funny because soccer and hockey were like the only sports my dad didn't play. He played everything else. Even though he was 5'8", I think, absolute stud in football.
Okay.
Which makes no sense, being that he was a wide receiver.
Hey, that's pretty cool, actually.
You gonna throw it up or?
I'm throwing it up. They're just loading. They actually get like the shots and the shooting percentage and everything up, but flash score is just it's just loading. It's just loading right now.
I would say anyone that is watching right now, I'd love to see either thoughts coming up to the trade deadline here. The Wild have, including this game right now, 3 total games before the trade deadline will come and go. So whether it's thoughts on players you want to pursue, if you have trade ideas that you want us to evaluate, like throw anything up, and that's something that we'll kind of save and tee up, Isha, for intermission talk maybe.
No, absolutely. It's a comment-driven live stream too, so anything you want us to talk about, especially during intermission, as we'll have a bunch of time, as we'll be commenting on our live reaction to this game as well. But like we said, comment-driven live stream. We love sitting back here watching these games with you live on our channel. Every Sunday that there's a game, we will be doing a watch-along. And every Sundays that there's no games, we'll be doing live 2-hour hockey talk shows. Totally interactive, and we love interacting with all of you on the Sota Pod. Sean, what's up? Thank you very much for joining us, my friend. Tom Brady coming back to the Bucks. Tom Brady's retired, I thought, Sean.
A lot of people retire, come back. I don't think he comes back to the Bucks, Sean, but I do think he comes back. I just don't know where.
Yeah, I was gonna say where.
I don't know. Oops. There's maybe 5 teams that would say no to him. So take your pick.
Oh, that's true. Already some pushing and shoving after the first whistle of this game. Greenway mixing it up with who is that right there?
Yeah, not normal that Greenway just fucking undresses a guy.
No, look at
Benning just Meg.
Oh, through that was a beautiful play. Wow. Look at that. His bench, I think he's just pissed. He's just annoyed that he got Oh man, that was sick.
I don't know if he'll ever do that again.
No, but that doesn't matter. I was gonna say he's gonna get the tape. Then I was gonna say he's gonna get the DVD. Now I'm saying he's just gonna get the GIF of that and hold on to it forever.
Z probably already posted it.
Oh yeah. I'm 20 seconds behind too, so Z 100% already posted it. So the Wild coming out of the gate with a little pep in their step, that's promising to see. I mean, Greenway with probably the best play of his career thus far. Saros, in my opinion, he's the one who's going to make this game the most difficult for the Wild, and taking nothing away from the offense that the Nashville Predators possess, but their defense is a shadow of what it was, and I would say even just for a decade. And they had different pieces there, but they always were able to keep such a strong defense fort.
What the fuck? Sean's not kidding. He announced it. He's coming back to the Bucks 4 minutes ago.
No, are you shitting me?
Yeah, he said he's coming back.
I love my teammates and I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back to my 23rd
Sean,
season.
you fucking asshole.
Wow.
You couldn't have led with looks like he's coming back to the Bucks instead of posing it like a question.
Why? I mean, I get it, but like, why even do this to fans?
What do you mean?
Like, why do the whole swan song retirement and then come back?
I don't know, because they'll probably appreciate him a lot more now. They had to live a couple of weeks without him. And be like,
they didn't appreciate him bringing them a championship.
Not after he didn't do it again the next year.
Oh, wow.
I don't think you understand how football works.
I don't. Y'all are
short
crazy.
Fucking memories. Unless you suck, then you have long memories, which is unfortunate.
For a league that plays one game a week, you guys have way too short of memories.
Tell you what, man, that is a great format, though.
One game a week.
You can plan ahead. You know exactly which day it is. You can just go about your life the rest of the time, dude. Wild. I have to think every day. Like, wait, is there a game today?
No, of course. Hockey, and basketball, it's insane. Like, the schedule is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Cousins 1 year extension, $35 million guaranteed.
Was his contract up? I don't pay nearly enough attention.
I just
know everyone wants him to fucking leave. So
I think it was. I even saw that.
Yeah.
How about them Seattle Seahawks though, shaking things up?
Yeah, they're gonna suck.
Yeah, I mean, it's about fucking time. I mean, they were holding on to that core for way too long. I mean, it was barely even a core anymore. It was just like a few players that have just hung around this whole time, and that coach has to go. It's over.
Sean beat ESPN. ESPN just sent me a notification saying that Brady's back. So, insider Cosgrove.
He is the insider. Wow, absolutely love it. Sean, really appreciate it, as always. I know we always say this, but thanks for joining us here on the live stream.
I expect him to come in with some trade offers for us to review.
Oh yeah, Sean's going to be heavily invested in the intermission conversation for sure.
Oh baby, we got to fight. And it is not close. Yeah, that guy tapped out pretty fucking fast.
Well, oh, it's because he got hit twice. Two shots there, one to the side, and then I think he got hit square too by Foligno and out. Didn't want any more of that.
It was Cunnin.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know what though? If you're Cunnin, the way to come back to Minnesota is to fucking grab the moose by the horns and fucking let her buck.
How's he doing, by the way? 19 points, 11 goals, 58 games. He's doing exactly how I thought Luke Cunnin would do.
Yeah, I don't know why people got so upset when he was traded. Not to say that I wouldn't have absolutely kept him. Like, solid third line guy.
I liked him.
I don't think he was ever going to be more than that. And he played for Wisconsin, so that's kind of gross.
I was just gonna say, you actually like the player from Wisconsin?
Dude, I like Pavelski.
That's true. No kicks, please, Moose. Right. Cunning grows a solid beard for a young guy.
Yeah.
How old is he?
I'd agree. He had solid facial hair.
I mean, Greenway too. They're the same age?
Similar. Wouldn't be the same because
Cunning's 23. Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought Greenway was a year older, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, he is. One shot in the first 5 minutes of this game from Minnesota, from Greenway. So there's been more punches than shots.
You're a little behind. 2 shots now.
2 shots. Sorry, but there's been more punches than shots in this game thus far because I saw Foligno at least throw 4 punches. 2 of them landed clean.
Oh, geez. Lot of chatter between whistles. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is interesting.
I think the Wild are on fucking tilt. They, after the last 2 games where they got real fucking chippy, I think they're just carrying it through, which, I mean, hey, if that's what propels the boys, I'm totally here for it. But
totally,
it's a little, it's not a great development if it's going to stick long term.
No, but I mean, right now with a team that, let's be honest, like they're fighting with to show dominance in this conference, in this division. I mean, yeah, bring the heat, bring some chippiness. And I don't think it's just the Wild. I mean, yeah, I agree with everything you said there, but I was just watching Ekholm and like he was getting all fired up. And yes, I know Hartman probably like will say some things.
That was literally what spurred my comment. So
yeah, well, I was just gonna say, like, Hartman, I know will say some things under
you
his.
You need to get a better stream, man.
Under his breath.
Off.
It's not that bad, okay? I'm sorry I don't have the cable plug in here. It's not that bad. Sometimes ESPN Plus is just as bad, apparently. Like, I've had Griffin and Christian who cover the Avs, and they'll both be through providers, one cable, one ESPN, and the stream is still.
Wait, there's no way that anyone has cable watching the Avalanche. Sorry. I know that story.
Well, whatever, different provider. I don't know.
No, I'm just giving them shit because their team is a bunch of idiots.
Oh yeah, didn't they didn't
hostage.
Yeah, for like the first few weeks of the season, right? Or was it playoffs?
It's happened multiple times, man. It's so bad.
I think
I think it's Altitude Sports.
Yeah.
Them, dude. People get mad at Bally Sports and shit. Just be thankful you don't have Altitude.
Dude, no, I remember we talked about that last year. I think it was even like there was a few playoffs games that they didn't show.
Oh yeah, it is Riddick.
Ooh, well then the Wild really have a chance to take this one.
I don't know. So far, 3 shots, no goals.
And Johansson's in the box, so this stellar power play for the Minnesota Wild gets to go to work.
That was just. Why'd you have to say that?
Also,
why they don't have Boldy or Fiala on the first unit?
I shake my head to that.
Or did something happen? Is one of them or both of them not playing, or? Because in fairness, they haven't done anything noticeable thus far. So, in my tuning in and out,
going on to Daily Faceoff right now. As far as I know, like I was listening to some pregame stuff today and catching up on everything post Columbus game, and I didn't hear of any changes. Sean would know though. Sean would let us know.
It's true. He would call us out.
Absolutely. Again, thanks to everyone who's just tuning in and out to this video. If you just clicked on it, searching Wild content on YouTube, we really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. It helps us out tremendously. We do watch-alongs every Sunday game day. We have content coming out every single day on the channel, as well as a podcast, the Sota Pod, wherever you get your podcasts from. This stream is comment driven as well, so get us your live reaction to this game. If you have any questions for us, trade scenarios, we'll take them all. Okay. Boldy and Fiala, they're in this game. They're in the lineup, so
why is Hartman on the first power play instead?
I cannot tell you that. It says Matt Zuccarello, Joel Eriksson Ek, and Ryan Hartman are on the first power play unit, which is
accurate.
Interesting. Boldy, Foligno, Fiala, and Goudreau.
No, Foligno's
on the second. There. That's what just says on Daily Faceoff.
It's the whole second line plus Greenway.
Interesting. Okay. There's someone outside my office.
And sadly, the second unit looks better.
Yeah.
Trying to what?
Sing.
Are they not succeeding to sing?
No. Whatever that sound is not
You could
say
that
singing.
It's not good singing, but they're probably succeeding if they're saying something.
Yeah. They're making noises, I'll tell you that much.
Fair enough.
Well, not the most exciting start to the first period here. Definitely not as exciting as that Dallas Stars game, which had a lot of pace coming out of the gate, and obviously a lot of offense in that second period there last week. But Greenway started off things with a flash of skill there. We had a fight, so I guess I shouldn't say it was it's been too underwhelming, but as far as just the hockey, it's been choppy, it's been chippy, but there hasn't been a lot of chances from either of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to add to that.
I know it's hard to when you're doing a watch along, when the game is kind of slow pace. And
no, you just covered it well. I don't really know what I could add. I could like stretch it and try and like say exactly what you said in different words, but why? But
why? Fabulicious 44, what's up? Thank you very much for joining us. Hey, this is my first ever hockey game. I didn't know what team to pick and root for, and I decided to pick the Wild. Good freaking choice. Welcome to Following Hockey. We appreciate it, and we're freaking honored that you're joining us on this live stream and that you've chose the Wild to be your team. It's a good and exciting pick, as I mean, the team's got some young studs and they've just flipped the page off of what they've been for the last decade or so. And I mean, for a new fan hoppy, I mean, what would you tell a new fan following the Wild? Like, what do they have to look forward to?
I mean, good time to get in. If there's ever been a time to be a fan of the Wild, this is it. I'll tell you that their most exciting and electric player is currently in their minor league affiliate, but will hopefully be up soon. Watch 97, Watch 12, Watch 22. It's an electric factory. Why did you decide to start watching hockey? Like, what do you want to get from it? Like, how are you drawn to it? I'm curious.
Yeah, great question. We want to hear from you. We really appreciate it. And if you want just more hockey talk, especially in the Minnesota market, which is a great market to pick, not just because of the Wild's a great team, but because in the United States, Minnesota is the state of hockey. Like, it gives Canada a run for its money for how passionate they are in hockey. So, I mean, I encourage you to listen to our podcast as well, as we talk about a lot of just hockey outside of just the Minnesota Wild. But like Hoppy asked you, what inspired you to get into hockey? What brought you to this stream and this sport? Sean asking, why does Moose have to stick up for a guy who's 6'6" and doesn't score goals? I don't get it. It's just in his nature as the type of player that he is, I think. And
I think he just wants to fight people.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at that.
No bueno.
Justin, we said the game is starting off a little slow. The Wild actually were leading in still leading in shots 5-1, because on the first shot from the Nashville Predators, a tip from Philip Forsberg, it looks like.
Yeah, really. I mean, he didn't even get a ton of it, but changed the direction enough. That's a tough one for Capo. I don't blame him for that.
Can't blame Capo for that one.
I'm sure everyone on Twitter will anyways,
So the Nashville Predators and the mustache man himself, Philip Forsberg, opens the scoring.
God, can I just say how happy I am that he never played for Washington? Because that would have sucked.
Oh, shut up. I'm absolutely devastated that he didn't play for Washington. That was one of the worst trades in NHL history.
I don't know about that. That's a stretch.
Come on. For how good he's turned out, it's pretty bad.
Larson for Hall. Compare them.
Oh, the Washington's way worse. Way worse. Larson's still playing. He's still, quote unquote, a defender.
Z's gonna murder you.
I don't care. It was a bad, but like Larson's still playing.
So is Hall.
No, I know, but I'm saying what was the name of the guy Washington got in return? I know who he is. His name.
I can't tell you. It'll bother you now.
Anyways, didn't he he had a shit season? He retired the next year. So like, what the fuck? I'm not looking it up either. I'm just gonna let it pass. But yeah, absolutely terrible trade. Love Forsberg though, and I mean he's a star in Nashville.
He's a great player.
So
he's going to demand a full bag.
Oh yeah, if anything, he's been underpaid this current contract. Like he could have asked for way more money out of his coming out of his rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the comments here and again, it's a comment-driven live stream. We'll go back and forth. We will 100% be just like watching the live chat more in depth during the intermission, of course, because we got some eyes on the game here as well. Live stats on the screen, as you can see. We want to get your live reaction to the game as well. So hit up our live YouTube chat here. And for Belicious saying, I like the fighting and a big sports guy. I need something to watch on the football offseason. Well, there
Nice.
you go. The NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best. I mean, it's the best tournament in sports.
Yeah, and Ferbalicious, I don't know if you have ESPN Plus or what access you have to all these games. I recommend watching as much hockey as you can, like the next couple of weeks, just to kind of like get the feel, right? If you just watch one team, you're not really going to get the full spectrum of what the game's all about. But get into it and get ready for the playoffs, because like Isha just said, playoff hockey is better than any other sport. It's insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's so cool that he said you guys were the first channel on the search when I searched Wild live stream. Gotta say, shout out to my SEO skills there, because they're working out perfectly. Who is number 9 and why is the number retired?
I think Ferbalicious might be trolling us. I think this is a hockey fan.
I mean, maybe, but not.
Yeah. Well then, Isha, you go ahead.
MIKKO KOIVU, number 9. He's an absolute legend for the Minnesota Wild. I'd say probably their most popular and most loved player from the fans. He was never a bona fide top center. He was the top center for the Minnesota Wild, but he never like reached that, like, if you put into football terms, like that top quarterback status. He was always a 1B, a very, very good but not great. But that's taking nothing away for what he did in Minnesota for Minnesota, and again the impact that he left on the franchise and the fans. So they honored him tonight and retired his number for the franchise, which means no other Wild player will ever wear number 9 again. It has been retired with MIKKO KOIVU. As you can see though on screen here, he made a stop somewhere else quickly, and we snagged up that jersey.
Just real quick.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the Columbus Blue Jackets, 3rd jersey, Fabulicious, best jersey in the league.
It's Ferbalicious. Stop calling him Fabulicious.
Sorry, I can't. My screen, it's very small. It's very small. I probably need to adjust that and get a bigger
Shane, you're incorrect.
March Madness is the best tournament in sport. No, it's not. It's a good.
So Shane,
it's
what I'll
good,
give you,
but it's not close.
No. Hang on. It is the most fun to bet on. Most fun to bet on, but I don't. There's nothing that's better than NHL playoffs. There's just not. Not even the high school state especially
tournament.
When you compare from regular season to postseason.
Exactly. There's a massive difference. It's
March Madness is definitely in that like upper tier. Don't get me wrong.
But
now, if we're strictly talking betting, then yeah, March Madness is way more fun to bet on than NHL playoffs. That's for sure.
I would even bet just with like friends, and I didn't even watch it. It's just that event. You just know you're gonna because it's elimination, right? Which just makes it so much fun. Like 1 game elimination versus series. I think someday they might unretire jerseys. Why?
I don't think there's going to be enough good players that they'll run out of jersey numbers.
Yeah.
At least not anytime soon.
I mean, Vancouver, maybe, because they're going to fill that shit up way too quickly because of like every good player.
Because of low standards.
Yeah, because of low standards. But maybe only in Vancouver. Actually, that's not true. They're filling up that Ring of Honor now as well. Oh, is Nick Backstrom's here for the MIKKO KOIVU retirement? That's awesome. See, in my opinion, he's been one when he was at his peak. He was flirting with that like elite status for a year or two in the National Hockey League. He was so good.
I don't know if he flirted with elite, but he was great.
Again, there's an argument to be made. He was up there. Like I knew,
and I'm arguing with you.
When I was like playing Sim League and NHL video games and whatnot, too, like he was the player that I was like, okay, he's the best player in Minnesota, right? You always had that face to every team.
Oh yeah,
he was the face for me.
He was the token all-star nominee.
Yeah,
because every team had to send someone.
Yeah, there you go. But he was well deserved most years. Sean Costco saying boo Shane. Ferbalicious, thanks for all the knowledge. I'm totally new and know nothing about hockey, but you're excited. So I'm excited for you to start this journey with the Sota Pod. Again, watch as much hockey as you can digest before the playoffs, because the playoffs are just a whole other animal. They're unbelievable. It's the best tournament in all of sports. But if you want all your hockey updates, Minnesota hockey updates, but also just NHL wide, college hockey, the whole 9 yards, subscribe to this channel. like any of the videos, and also check out our podcast, as we have a podcast coming out every single weekday and we dive into the world of hockey. But if you got this game on here, if you're not watching it live, continue to sit back and watch this YouTube watch along and stream with us and give your live reaction to this game. If you do want to open up another tab and get some eyes on it, I threw you a name in the live chat where you can find it. So there you go. Yeah,
that's the way to do it. Pull that up on video and mute it, and then just stay here with us.
Yeah.
But definitely watch.
Have we? I love how he's already saying we. Look at that. He's already a Wild fan, already in one of us. No. They haven't even come close.
This is the beginning for Malicious of going down that path. They finally have the right leadership. They've got the right front office. They're building the team the right way. This is the first time I've ever had a positive outlook on the trajectory of this franchise.
Yep.
So
for many years, this team was built defensively, and they had a lot of success annoying a lot of other teams and shutting them down. But at the end of the day, you have to have the other tools to be a champion. And now the Wild have those pieces where I think that, like Hoppy said, they're building something really special here. Sean Cosgrove saying evolving hockey analytics argue that Backstrom was definitely not elite. Fair enough. I do, there's a lot of analytics sometimes that I'll be like, oh, well, what do they know? The boys from Minnesota, the Twins from Minnesota at Evolving Hockey, they know. And look at that. We got another goal.
Ferbalicious. This is the guy you're gonna want to get to know real well.
He's gonna be cashing those checks after his rookie deal.
That's what scares me.
What a season for the future Calder Trophy winner, Matthew freaking Boldy.
Zero chance.
No, what? Are you serious?
Zero.
I would give it at least 50-50 that he's going to win. At the
dumb.
Bare minimum, Hoppy, 50-50.
That's dumb.
Are you shitting me?
He's not even 50-50 to be nominated.
Dude. Oh, my God.
Dude, if there was no good candidates, for sure, or if he had played the whole season.
His pace, Hoppy, his pace alone.
I don't care about his pace. Trophy. Other guys have similar pace, except they have the full body of work. He won't be nominated.
They don't have similar pace, and this guy is going to absolutely make them look like fools.
Seider and Raymond are both better nominees than him.
No, they're both.
Jeannot's in the discussion.
They're both very good. Dude, Jeannot over Boldy. Stop. Just stop. It's not happening. No.
Your tone changes when you know you're lying through your teeth.
You just know me too well. But no, I'm not lying. I'm being passionate, but I'm not lying. He's almost got as many points as Jeannot. So
they got it up right now. I missed it. There was a points per game for rookie scorers. You'll see it. He's definitely in the lead for that. But again,
23 points in 26 games. Hoppy, fuck off, dude, man. He's gonna win.
Dude, if he played all year, he absolutely would.
He's got enough.
Totally
he's going to have enough games where it's going to be.
I think the other players need to aggressively slow down for him to be in. He'll maybe be the third place last guy in nomination, but he won't win.
I mean, you said he wasn't even. It's going to take. It's going to take. You just said he wasn't close to a nomination, and now you're saying he's third. Come on.
He's not close to winning. He could get third. I don't think he will.
This is the first time I've actually, in an argument, gotten Hoppy to change just like that. So
it's also the first time you've remembered what I said.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he'll be the third one in. I think he could. He won't win. There's no way that Seider.
I fucking love Sean. 50-50 is accurate. He's gonna win.
Sean is our math guy. He's the stats guy. I can't argue with
it. That's awesome. Tom Brady just came out of retirement. Yeah, Sean broke that news before ESPN. Funny enough, on the Sota Pod live stream.
Insider Cosgrove.
Kakinen's laboring a little bit after that last play, it looks like. Oh, we are going to have a penalty on it.
I mean, Merrill, come on. Should the guy be tougher? Yeah. Is that also a penalty? Yeah.
Yeah. You can't use just clearing space, okay.
I only kind of cross-checked him.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, like I loved what you said there.
That Forsberg dash is great, though.
Dude, it's so nice. It's so nice.
Oh, look at that. Granlund's been growing his out for just as long.
I did like how Granlund took the ceremonial puck drop. In front of
does that
Sturgeon
surprise
there.
you?
No, not surprising, but that's what I said. I like
Isha
it.
thought it should have been coming.
Or just like the Preds just like total like don't even think about it and just throw Yossi out there. Like,
I'll stand by it though. Granlund's so overrated.
I have no ground to really call him. I've always thought he was he was a good, I shouldn't even say okay. I always thought he was a good player, a 40-point player, and that's what he is.
A 40-point player? Oh
Isn't that what he is, a 40-point player?
I don't know what he is now, but
wasn't he always a 40-point player?
That is not how Wild players remember him.
That's because, again, like
Wild fans,
they didn't have another center. They didn't have anyone better. Number 12 is pretty good, I assume.
Are we talking about Brady or are we talking about Boldy?
I think he's talking about Boldy, the goal scorer. And yes,
he last talked about Tom Brady, but yes.
He's only 20 years old.
I'm fighting Isha on whether or not he should be nominated for Rookie of the Year, and that's purely based on him missing half the year with injury.
Yeah, so he's only played 26 games. He's only played 26 games where where someone healthy on team would be played, was it 56, 57 at this point?
50 something, yeah.
Yeah. So in 26 games, he's 23 points, 11 goals, which is outstanding for someone entering the league and also entering after injury and then getting injured again in the season and then coming back and still keeping your point pace. So like, I absolutely love this player. Absolutely love this player.
Yeah, he's much better than I even thought he would be.
How long are hockey contracts? Max is 7 years, right?
8 years if you sign your own guy, 7 on the open market. But for rookie contracts, it's 3 years every time.
3 years under $1 million.
Yep.
Or $1 million at the most before signing bonus. Because Austin Matthews did not make $999,000.
There's also bonuses for performance.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm seeing odds between 20-1 and 28-1 to bet on Boldy for the Calder. Well, those 50, are odds 50? I'm gonna have to take.
Yeah, if you're that confident,
and then I'm gonna be rich and I'm gonna be laughing at you peasants.
If you throw money down on that, I hope you win. I just think it's not happening. But for those odds, it's not the worst to throw a couple on.
All right.
I just don't see any way Snyder doesn't win.
500 USD down. Let's go. That's how confident I am.
Jesus Christ.
Let's go, boys. Keep the comments coming. We absolutely love it. The more you guys interact, it makes these watch-alongs a lot more fun. Otherwise, it's just Hoppy and I talking throughout this game, which we do anyways via text, not live here on YouTube. And again, we really appreciate everyone joining our watch-alongs and checking out our YouTube content. We have videos drop pretty much every single day. Most of them are highlights, bits and pieces from our podcasts. Every Saturday, we have a BrewTube feature, which we have either a tour or an interview with people in the brewery scene or owners of breweries in Minnesota or Vancouver Island. So again, thanks for all the support on YouTube. The Sota Pod, check it out, subscribe, like the videos, and we have a podcast 5 days a week, again, on all podcast apps at the Sota Pod.
Well, I liked that.
If the season ended right now, we would be in the playoffs, right?
Technically today, yes, in the playoffs.
But it's very tight right now with,
real tight,
ironically, the Nashville Predators and who we did a watch-along for last week, the Dallas Stars. Very, very tight. So the Wild had a very strong start to the season. They petered a little bit in the last 2 weeks. They've done fine the last few stretch of games. They've gotten points that they've needed, but they really need to win this game. It's one of the most important games of the season. I know Hoppy argued that last week's game was one of the most important games of the season. I'd say this game is pretty much the same.
Pretty similar.
As far as standings implications, I mean, There's a few former Wild players on the Nashville Predators team as well. It's on the day / night of the MIKKO KOIVU jersey retirement. So there's just a lot surrounding this Sunday's game here. The Wild players know that they're not even talk of the town on the weekend. It's all Minnesota State tournament, and that they actually have the pleasure to take the ice after the boys winning the championship. So I mean, there's a lot going on this weekend. Do you think any of the Minnesota Wild players, follow the tournament at all? I know a lot of them aren't from Minnesota, so they may not have that connection, but maybe like a few.
I don't think they give a shit. I think they're paid to pretend they do.
Fair enough, but you don't think that some of them are just sports fans? Like I'd say, for example, I'm drawing from Vancouver Canucks example, but in Alex Burrows, he was a sports junkie. Like he watched and he was into even the Minnesota, hockey tournament, the high school hockey tournament. So I'm sure that there must be some Wild players who endorse it for, like you said, because they're a Wild player and they're playing for the big team there. But I don't know. I'd imagine there's probably a few. I'd love it.
Well, the difference though, Isha, is it'd be one thing if they were here to take it in. They're always on the road during that time because it's hosted at the X.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. If I wanted to buy a jersey, who should I get?
Ooh, that's a
good question.
All right, so we're definitely going to lean with a younger player.
And what type and which jersey too? That's the thing. Hoppy doesn't want you to go the reverse retro route. I'm just saying.
Hey, no, that's not true. If that's what Ferbalicious likes, go for it. But I just personally don't like it.
I'm going with Newlands today, by the way.
Oh, baby. I wish that's actually what was on the back of it. I would say if you want to get ahead of the curve, you either want to... Actually, Ferbalicious, I need to know, do you want one of the studs, or do you want to have a unique jersey for a fun player to watch? Do you want to be different, or do you want to know, hey, who's going to be the stud in a couple of years?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Those are different because I personally like to go the unique path, but others, I mean,
a la Columbus KOIVU.
Well, yeah, but if you want to go the path of excitement, it's probably going to be Boldy or Rossi. Those are the ones to get in bed with right now. But I would say, if you want a fun one, you want a player that always has an exciting game. Less people have the jersey, so you're more different. I'd say Dewar and Duhaime are great ones to grab.
Or because he ain't going anywhere due to his deal, Matt Zuccarello.
Actually, Zuccarello is a great one too.
Matt Zuccarello, he's one of my favorite Wild players. Hoppy and I always joked, love the player, hate the contract, because his contract's a little too generous. I take it
back now. Back when we said it, I totally believed it. I think he's playing up to the contract. I didn't think he would.
We're just not uttering it right now, but it'll come up again. I mean, he's got 60 freaking points in 49 games. So yeah, we're not going to utter that this season with those numbers. The guy's putting up the best year of his career.
Ferbalicious, next comment, Isha. So definitely do not get Dumba or Fiala or Greenway or Goligoski.
Get Zuccarello. We should just get Matt Zuccarello, the Lizard Man. Not enough people have his jersey, and he's an absolute beauty. When he was with the New York Rangers before signing with the Minnesota Wild, he was a fan favorite as well as a dominant player on the ice.
I'm going to say that it should be Matt Boldy. It's the first goal that Ferbalicious has witnessed for the Wild.
That is
true. It was at the same time as the news for Brady, and they're both number 12. And he is one player that I can confidently say is going to stay around.
Did he score again?
What? He might have scored again. So, Ferbalicious, take your pick between Zuccarello and Boldy, but I think Boldy, number 12, might be the one for you to go with here.
Okay, with 3 seconds left in the first, and again, I'm a little behind Hobby. If it's a goal, you get Boldy. Done. If that counts, you're getting his jersey. That's going to decide it.
I don't think it's a goal. Sick shot off the post, though.
Oh, what a shot. No, it's not a goal, but that was fucking close. Okay, well, you have a choice then. Go Hoppy's route with Boldy or my route with Zuccarello. Either way, you're getting a Matt. You're getting an MAT in there.
Oh, he's going with me.
They're saying it's a post. Yeah, we just saw it was a post. Boom. I'm gonna go with him, number 12. Great freaking choice, man. Let's
that's
go,
a good
boys. Absolutely love it.
That shit
Boys are
beautiful in the motherfucking.
When we take our first break, I gotta get this. I got batteries everywhere. They're on my feet. They're on my table.
Chaos.
Snoop Dogg took out the whole. They're reviewing it right now, but I don't think it's a goal.
Oh, Isha, at the break, there's a new video uploaded.
Oh, is there? Oh, I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait.
You'll see it.
Sean, post Boldy sucks. By the way, I can't believe Nashville having the success that they're having with their freaking coach right now. The amount of hate that came out of New Jersey when John Hines left there was unbelievable. And I'm not saying he's on Mike Sullivan's level here, Hoppy, but you got to be somewhat competent for a team to have a turnaround, much like the Nashville Predators have had this year.
Or have a good goalie.
Yeah, but last year they had the same goalie who I would argue played even better last year than he did this year.
Rangers don't have a good team. They don't have a good coach. Look at that. They have a good goalie.
The Rangers have a coach.
He's meh.
He's got a decent resume.
I don't know. He keeps on getting fired.
I think that's more because of the Terrien factor. Because he doesn't give a fuck and has no filter. I think that's why, more so than the result. Because the results on the ice are there, even when in Florida. I'll stand by him. He's Canadian, and yeah. I like that first goal I've ever seen on the Wild. No, that's you can tell people now when you have that jersey, and if you ever end up going to the Xcel Energy Center and seeing a game, you can wear that jersey with pride and be like, listen. The first goal I ever watched was from Matthew Boldy while watching a Sota Pod live stream, so that's why I got the jersey. And if anyone asks, well, what's the Sota Pod? Then you tell them, oh, you can find it on any podcast app. You can subscribe and on YouTube.
Herbalicious is probably nowhere near the Xcel Energy Center, so that might not happen anytime soon.
No, I know. I'm just saying, someday, because I'm predicting right now, Hoppy, that we're planting roots. This is gonna be a lifetime Wild fan here. I expect to someday in Minnesota have a beer with this guy or girl.
There you go.
I can't see your avatar; it's too small on my screen. I'm sorry.
Isha also has trouble seeing in general.
That is true. I think honestly, I just need way stronger glasses because I'm squinting with the glasses now. I actually haven't had a new pair of glasses since 2012. So I'm long overdue. That's when I lost my benefits. Can't afford glasses without benefits. Hear that, Amaze? Give me some new glasses.
Hey, Ferbalicious, let's see. Oh, moving to Cold Spring this summer. That's not too far.
Where's that?
It's outer Twin Cities.
Oh, okay.
Tell you what, you can get there in under an hour, I bet.
Oh, that's amazing.
So there you go, Ferbalicious. And Ferbalicious, I don't know if you are on Twitter. Obviously follow all of our stuff, but definitely follow at SpokedZ. Has all the highlights, has, we'll say, more of a unique take on hockey as well, who does a lot of work with the Wild and their prospects. So definitely an extension of the Sota Pod here. Make sure you give a follow to SpokedZ.
Yeah, every Tuesday, SpokedZ does a podcast as well as all the stuff he does on social media on the Sota Pod podcast and YouTube channel. Now talks about not just the Iowa Wild, which is the Minnesota Wild's farm team, their AHL affiliate, their minor league team. He also covers their prospects overseas in the Canadian junior leagues, and he is such a funny motherfucker. Now,
I was gonna say following him just makes it more fun to be a Wild fan.
Yeah,
and a hockey fan.
He's so fucking funny that, just one quick anecdote, the last podcast, Hoppy, while the Wild are in commercial break here, the last podcast, and I messed up too, and I'm sorry, Z, if you're watching this or listening. But he asked me, he's like, hey, do I have to read this entire disclaimer on the DraftKings ad, which, our sponsor is DraftKings. We read some of their ads in our podcast. And I hadn't looked at the ad yet because I just pull Z's ads now. I don't even read them, man. I just pull Z's ads, Hoppy, for our podcast because they're always so good. And so I'm like, oh yeah, like it's the disclaimer, like it's bold or whatever. It turns out DraftKings added a description disclaimer you need to paste in your SotaPod, your podcast summary / episode description. And then there's a verbal one as well. So we're talking now like probably like 20, 30 sentences, like 2 big paragraphs versus just the one chunk, which was already a mouthful of a disclaimer anyways. And Z for like a minute and a half is just Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Indiana, blah, blah, just like going, if you're in this state, call this. If you're in this state, click this email. And he's going www.xyz.com. And then he takes a deep breath and goes, there's no way I was supposed to read that whole thing. What the fuck, Isha? And I was absolutely dying editing that thing because I was like, you're right. You weren't supposed to read that whole thing. And I'm sorry that I gave you the okay. And I probably should have checked that ahead of time. But anyways, that'll do it for first period action here as we get into our first intermission here on the Sota Pod. We'll take a quick break and then we will jump back on the stream here. We'll continue to take your comments. We'll continue to take your questions. So if you're in the live chat right now, if you've left a comment, we'll get to it in a moment here. Stick with us. We really appreciate everyone joining us and watching this game live here on the Sota Pod YouTube channel. So Hoppy, you click the ad you want to be played from our friends here, and then a quick word from our DraftKings sponsor, and then we'll be back here for first intermission. The game's all tied up right now, and it's been an exciting one. It started off slow, but it's been an exciting one now against the Nashville Predators and Minnesota Wild. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome to the Bach Channel Brewing All Hockey Hard Team 3.0. Starting things off is Milton Biggs, but they actually call him Tiny because of that toothpick of a stick. I guess it's not about the size of the lumber, but how you swing it around the net, eh? First we had Goldie Goldthorpe, then we saw Ogie Oglethorpe, and now we've got Tommy Tomthorpe. Except nobody's afraid of Tommy Tomthorpe. Next we have the Tiger King's latest love interest, Meow. Joe Exotic actually found this elusive ice cat while on the prowl for a snow leopard. Next up is the hockey version of Michael Bolton. We know the man loves his woman, but he gives everything he's got for that grungy Seattle flow. Speaking of flow, this little spinorama should change her name to Farrah Flowset and maybe work on those hair flips a bit while you're at it. Lastly, at first glance it appears that we're getting a new age version of Carl Racky, but that quickly fades after that one-footed drag stop. Intimidation erased. That concludes the 2022 All Hockey Hair Team. Good luck to all the state participants out there, and watch out for the Flonados and Hurricanes.
And we are back live here on the Sota Pod YouTube channel. Nashville Predators, Minnesota Wild here live. Very excited to sit back, relax, and watch this game with you all. We've had some new hockey fans join us in the chat. We've had some great conversations thus far, and it's been an interesting first period. I mean, the first 5 minutes, there was one shot on net. It came from an exciting play from Jordan Greenway. Then there was a fight. Foligno fighting the former Wild player, Luke Cunnin. And then it was slow. There was just some chippiness after the whistles. There was a penalty here. There was a penalty there. And then Nashville gets one on the board. And the Wild answered. So it's been an interesting period, Hoppy. It was one that, like, there's some periods when you're watching, like, there's enough flow here where, like, I can look at the comments, I can do some other things in production, where this one's like, I didn't know, I couldn't really look away because I didn't know what I would miss. You know, there's not really a flow to this game. It's just kind of choppy all around and pretty chippy, which was surprising.
I mean, not with the last 2 games we've seen, just kind of compared to the MO of the team thus far this season. That's weird, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I don't know, because again, more of the playoff vibe kind of like last Sunday with Dallas
Yep.
and Nashville being teams that they're competing with for a spot. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if that tapers away at all, or if that's just the new identity.
Yeah, or who in this particular game is going to come out and set the pace for this second period? Because I would say the Wild were the ones who set the pace for that first period. They're the ones who came out a little bit quicker on their feet, and then were the ones who initiated a little bit of what was going on between whistles in the start anyways. I mean, again, I saw an animated Ekholm, but that was next to Ryan Hartman, which like Hartman doesn't really get like angry. He just like probably talks so much shit.
Yeah, it's probably not far off.
No, and I praise him for that. You know, he grinds the gears of his opponents. He gets under their skin, you know, without showing a ton of emotion, which that there's an art to that. Within a respectful reason of gamesmanship, there's an art for that, you know. In all sports, I mean, you know, boxing and fighting and stuff too, they sell the fights in that way. And back in the day in hockey too, they used to sell hockey games with the enforcers, you know, which was crazy to think about. That actually was how they sold the game back in the day. But anyways, back to the comments we go. It's a comment-driven live stream. We love all your questions, comments, and live reaction to the game when puck drops in second period. We will get the live stats back on the screen. Sean saying, Kirk Cousins, now that's out of the way, let's go get to work on a Lombardi. Let's freaking go.
Sure. That's
freaking
cute.
Cousins is so lame.
You know what a Lombardi is, right?
It's the NFL trophy, right?
It is.
Yes, I know. Do you know what the NBA's is, though, Hoppy?
The NBA trophy.
No. I actually forgot it, too, so.
Can't say that I care.
I should know this. I even call myself, like, a basketball fan, not necessarily an NBA fan. I lost it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Shane, Shane's clearly not here anymore. He would have said something.
Yes, he would have absolutely tried.
Oh, look at that. Followed you and spoke Z. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it, man. This is gonna bug me now, the NBA one. This one I am looking up.
What'd you think of the latest back video?
I loved it. I saw a teaser of it. Like when it started, I knew exactly what it was because I saw the one from last year and obviously saw a teaser one last week, but I didn't see it in its entirety. And even when I saw it on their Facebook page, I didn't want to watch it yet because I knew we'd probably get one to to feature here. So it was amazing. I think this is the best one I've seen yet. We'll play another one of their commercials. Our friends from Back Channel Brewing in Minnesota. So if you are in the great state of Minnesota, we'd love for you to go and check them out. Shane said, honestly, I don't even remember what it's called. Okay, well, you can't even talk smack to me at all about NBA. You can't even argue with me about LeBron and Jordan anymore. It's the Larry O'Brien trophy.
What do they have to do with anything?
I just closed Wikipedia, for fuck's sake, Hoppy.
No, I'm saying, what do Jordan and LeBron have
Oh,
to do
they said Larry O'Brien. Oh, Shane just like, he knows it pisses me off. And I used to think he was serious in his argument, telling me that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. But now I think he just does it to piss me off. And
Durant's
it works.
better than both, so who cares?
There's more of an argument that Durant is better than Jordan than LeBron James. We'll say that much.
Yeah, agreed.
Now Shane's the one who's steaming. Where can I watch it live for free? I'll only comment it as long as you mute that broadcast and keep us up here so we can interact with you.
You can't hold him to that once he does it. Like,
well, I mean,
you've got zero leverage in this scenario. Just give it to him.
seems like a good guy. So, Larry O'Brien. This was James. I was thinking Larry David or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
a little bit.
That'd be cool. That'd be a cool trophy.
That would be cool. They just like, yeah, screw O'Brien. We're going with Larry David, who's a beauty in his own right. So there you go. It's very interesting that like, despite the big sports leagues being American because of the population and just everything bigger in America, that basketball and hockey and lacrosse originated in Canada. It's a beautiful thing. You know, sport originating in this country and then being being developed in the States.
I have no problem with Canadian lacrosse. The only reason you and I fight is because we like different versions of it. It's still a great sport.
Yeah. And like I am,
and that's always been a fun trivia question for me too. Like, oh, hey, do you know what Canada's national sport is? Hockey, duh. No, it's not.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't know that Canada invented basketball too.
Wow, they really let go of that one then.
Yeah, well, I don't think I don't think the Canadian actually took or made a hole in the bottom of the bucket. I think that was a different influence because they had actually a ladder person who would, after every fucking shot, go up there and grab it, and also there's the bounce factor, so the shots are different because you didn't want to actually like put too much force on it in whatever way, and if you dunked it, they probably didn't dunk it back then, but if you dunked it, you're just gonna break the fucking thing, and there's a whole ordeal.
Man, Isha, I thought you said Shane knew basketball.
Durant and MJ are both scorers. LeBron isn't a scorer. He's a Swiss Army knife. No, Shane, Michael Jordan's the definition of a Swiss Army knife. They wanted to name it USA Army knife, but they couldn't because of the Swiss brand.
I thought we were just like having fun with this. In no world is LeBron better than Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, like, and Hoppy, he's older than us, Shane. He knows this. He's seen it. It's
got nothing to do with that. It's just like, and I'm not a big basketball guy, but you can just look at the numbers, and it's like, with what Jordan did and the time he had and the impact he made in the era he made it, dude, LeBron James bitches and complains and goes to a new team every year and tries to make a new super team. He can fuck right off.
Hell yeah. I got support.
He also has a wine problem. Drinks way too much wine. Makes his kid drink wine too.
LeBron?
Mm-hmm.
Probably has his own winery, so I don't blame him for that. He's probably got a couple, to be honest. I'll give it to James as far on the financial side, on the business side of things. I think, and this is what's crazy. I think he's starting to.
No.
Yes, worldwide, starting to. He'll never be as big, but he's starting to do a better job of getting his name and a businessman everywhere. Because Jordan, look, he's got his face, he's got Nike, he's got everything like that. He doesn't need to do all the other things, right? Because he's got his mainstays, which will always make him the GOAT. But I respect James's diversity on the business side more than Michael Jordan, I'll say. Because he's got businesses everywhere, and he's actually a lot more involved in them, being the face of them than Jordan is, which Jordan actually probably doesn't even do a lot of them because he's just sitting back and making his Nike money. LeBron is better at sucking up to China. There you go.
Yeah, see, he's a communist. So.
Oh man. Yeah. Back to the hockey though. I'm just getting up the rest of the games up today. Was there any other games or matchup that caught your eye, Hoppy, that had any significance to the standings? You know, kind of like what the Wild and Preds have going on here today.
Today?
Yeah, today.
Oh Jesus, I'll have to look.
I was just wondering because you're the one who's got the few screens going. I barely get one here in the studio, so I was just curious if you had any other games that you were keeping an eye on today, as you're pretty dialed into the NHL on.
Colorado Calgary is obviously going to be a big one. That one's towards the end of the first period right now.
Yeah,
like those two are both going to matter. I also think that it's a late one, non-characteristic late Sunday game, but Florida LA, interesting. Just to see really, like, it's a good barometer to see where LA is actually at, because that's a team that I think is on the verge of making a couple big boy moves here at the deadline because they want to push the chips in, which it happened out of nowhere. At the beginning of the year, I thought they were trash, and now all of a sudden they're a playoff team.
Yep. I don't think they're going to go too crazy, but you're totally right. Like if they're at the top of their division right now, you owe it to your guys to give them a little bit more pieces to do something, right? They didn't sweat, they didn't bleed, they didn't get injured and fight through adversity this season just for the GM to be like, oh no, we still got years ahead of us, boys, don't worry about it. Because there's guys on the roster who are like, no, this is my year on this team.
For me, though, it's going to be really interesting to see what they decide to do, in the sense that, like, they've, for the last couple of years, been touting arguably the best prospect pool in the league. I want to see which ones they've decided they're willing to move on from.
Yes.
Like
Great point.
seeing which ones get traded. First off, it'll be cool to see them go somewhere else and like see that get shuffled. But I want to know who they've decided we're not all in on you.
No, great point. Great point. I'm excited actually to see that as well.
I have a feeling Turcotte could be one.
Yep. Shane saying LeBron is a huge impact on any team he goes to, bring them from rags to riches. Then when he leaves, from riches to rags, 3 different final MVP teams. Yeah, well, they had to trade everybody because of contract stuff too, Shane. It wasn't just him leaving, but fair. But MJ will always be a bigger brand. He's not political, and his style of play brings a score. Is more so. You keep saying he's just a scorer. He wasn't just a scorer.
Yeah, that's the part that's like losing me here.
He doesn't get, because he didn't watch the games against the Pistons, right? And I didn't watch them live, but you better believe that I went and watched as much of them as I could from the archives.
Shane needs to watch the MJ documentary.
He thinks that swayed my love for. He didn't think that I loved Jordan before that, which I did.
First off, I don't love Jordan. He's just indisputably the best basketball player ever. Also, his Space Jam way better than LeBron. So.
Yeah. And honestly,
Shane just doesn't like MJ because he's a gambler.
Shane,
and I'm sorry, I respect the hell out of it.
Shane just knows that I love Michael Jordan, and that is why he keeps trolling me.
Do you?
I believe that's the reason. Michael Jordan's always been my Michael Jordan. Put it this way: without Michael Jordan, I would have never even been like a small time basketball fan.
I wouldn't know you were a small time basketball fan.
I'm one of those, like, when playoff comes around in March Madness, I pretend like I've been watching the sport for 20 years, sort of thing. When the competition, when there's some to lose and they're actually like really competing, I really, really love the sport. When it's in season, I could care less because the game doesn't start till the last 5 minutes anyways. And if anything, it's a gamble, and it's only if the game's close that it's a fun end of the fourth quarter anyways. I do respect that the sport is just it's the highlight reel back and forth. I do, because it really is for the most part these days.
I don't like that. That diminishes the highlights.
But that's a fair point. But I like that aspect of it. But I like the competitiveness. Oh,
so you like shootouts? Got it.
I do like shootouts. I always, and then Griffin, our friend Griffin knows. I very much like the shootout. But yeah, whereas like when Jordan played too, is such more of a grittier game. Like Charles Barkley was punching people out. Now I don't say that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying it's different. When you say he's a pure scorer, he's a pure scorer in that era. If LeBron was in that era too, I mean, he probably
would have been out for a month after contact with one of those players.
Yeah. I'm just saying. And I should say, I don't want to diminish anything LeBron James has done anyways. I'm just trying to argue for Michael Jordan. I don't have, like, I'm not anti-LeBron by any chance. Like,
I kind of am.
Do I like Steph Curry's style? Yes. And Shane's going to say, yeah, because he's a scorer. Yes. But that neither here nor there in the MJ argument.
Okay, Shane, I like Draymond Green. What up?
Draymond Green's badass.
He's not a scorer.
Fabro. I wasn't looking right now at the screen. Do you see what? Oh, Fabro took a puck to the cheek there off his shoulder and then up to the face. He's gonna have a welt with that one, but hope his jaw's okay. Oh, there's a good poll. I guess it's a good poll question for me, someone who watches UFC and stuff. But there's this massive heavyweight in the UFC right now, Hoppy. His name's Francis Ngannou. He's the biggest human I've seen in fighting. Now you can say, like, in the NFL, there's some bigger humans for sure. Like there's some linebackers out there or defensive ends or whatever. I don't know all the positions, but I'm sure some big boys on defense. This guy, as far as like a heavyweight fighter, is just like the biggest monster from Cameroon I've ever seen. And I wonder what would hurt more, getting punched in the face from Francis Ngannou or taking a slap shot puck from a Shea Weber. The puck would probably do more damage, but I wonder what would like hurt more. Anyways.
The more you think.
Because Dana White said that getting hit by Francis Ngannou was like getting hit by a Mack truck going 60 miles per hour, which obviously is false. But that's how hard he said he hit.
I mean, neither sounds pleasant.
No. Yeah, just a puck to the face though. Like I don't know. Did you wore full cage obviously, right?
We didn't have the choice. You had to wear a cage in high school.
And
to be completely honest, I think I would have preferred to wear one anyways.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
because I was someone that was blocking shots, and I was not gonna do that without a cage.
No, yeah, for sure. Like Junior B out here in British Columbia, and it was actually the team I worked for that was the catalyst to push for it. But the season that I started covering the team, they mandated all Junior B in British Columbia had to wear full face shields, and there was a lot of pushback, man. More than I ever thought there would be for Junior B. Junior A, I get it, just because like you're going on to your goal is to make the National Hockey League. Even, I don't know, a lot of them just go to college, but like Junior A or Major Junior, like most of these guys want to make the show if they're making that. So I get it's like just somewhat of an adaptability. I could still see the BCHL and Junior A adopting full face shields because most of the players going to college, their careers ending there anyways. So save your face, right? Major Junior, I get it. Doesn't need to change. The Junior B though, man, it was insane. Like the owner of the team I worked with was going at it with Cody Jansen of the World Hockey Report for hours. And I was like, I may lose my job based on affiliation with the World Hockey Report here.
And I don't think what you just said was true either. Depending on the program you play for, like a good amount of college kids, they might not play in the NHL. They're going to play pro.
Fair. So Nashville now on their power play. I wonder how their power play has been doing. I'm going to look that up here.
Has everyone just forgiven Duchesne at this point? Or like what's his standing over there?
I think it's what just happened.
Something that didn't matter at this point, but
I think it's much like well, not much like because of Zuccarello's output's obviously different, but I think it's kind of like in that case, like he's doing well right now, so we're not going to talk about him. Same with Johansson. He's doing.
I think that's a weird comparison.
If anything, Johansson's doing better because Johansson's like almost point per game right now, and he's more so
a sick player.
And he's more so a defensive player. We're like Duchesne doesn't have a lick of defense in his game, and he's putting up the same amount of points right now.
Yeah, Johansson is like a super stealthy, Selke type player.
Man, when Ryan Kessler and him went at it with those Anaheim and Nashville series, those were unbelievable. Those were some hella fucking series, Nashville and Anaheim, when they were both buzzing with their respective cores a few years ago. It was like 5 years ago now.
That couldn't have been more than one series.
I think it was two. It was like back-to-back years where they had they faced. I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
Anaheim was weird. Anaheim was weirdly relevant still when Kessler joined.
No, Anaheim was always relevant. That's Nashville that really wasn't, besides that flash in the pan year.
They made like first and second round though, and they were
but I don't think they usually played Anaheim right away.
Again, I might be wrong. I thought they played 2 years in a row.
They might have.
Because I vaguely remember the second year, like the media trying to rekindle that Johansson Kessler thing. They were like, "Oh yeah, we still fucking hate each other." Like, there's
interesting.
Shane, LeBron is playing in if LeBron playing in MJ's era, I'd pick MJ, but MJ and LeBron's era, I'd pick LeBron. That's tough.
I still understand.
I still have to go with MJ there. Like if MJ was playing in today's era, he'd go with LeBron, but if LeBron was in...
I very much understand what he said.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand the logic.
When I say best player, I usually mean valuable and impactful in today's game. Well, again, I still would argue that Jordan would be that. And yeah. And honestly, if anything, if that's the way it's going to be, Shane, then Larry Bird is the best basketball player of all time because he would destroy modern NBA. Absolutely torch it. He would double Curry's fucking points. So if that's your if that's your bar, then Larry Bird is the best NBA player of all time. Anyways. Nice save by Kakkonen on Granlund. How many points does Granlund have this year, Hoppy? The 40-point player. Granlund.
Why would I know that?
43 points. 43 points.
So look at that. He's already aggressively outpacing the 40 that you had him listed for.
Did he hit like 50 or something with the Wild? I just put him in that like range.
He probably hit 60.
When I thought of a Granlund, I thought of a second line.
I think he hit
player.
60.
Again, Labor is a scorer. Where's the Magic Johnson love? Love Magic Johnson, but you just said, when I say best player, I usually mean valuable and impactful in today's game. Larry Bird would be more impactful in today's game than a Magic Johnson or LeBron James.
He hit 69, 67.
Oh, shit.
But that was 2 years. The rest of it's been in the 30s and 40s.
His older brother, his brother, Marcus Granlund, played with the Vancouver Canucks. When he was with the Sedins, he got 20 goals. And in that era of Canucks, they had so many players that were like 20 to 30 point players. And there was a saying that like Jim Benning just brought in an endless sea of Granlunds, where it's just like meh players, Chaput, Magna, like just Burmistrov, fucking Ryan Spooner. It was just like sea of Granlund. That was the term in Vancouver, where just like meh players brought in who really no significance, if anything, are just weighing down your cap a bit. They're part of the sea of Granlund. And it's funny that like though Marcus Granlund was half the player that that Minnesota Wild's Granlund was, it's still funny that they're kind of like
that's
similar.
That's a testament to how unimpactful he must have been.
Oh yeah. Granlund 69 points in 2017. Nice. I also think Magic Johnson was more impactful than Bird because he's an amazing playmaker. I mean, they were kind of like that neck and neck, star versus star in their respective era, Shane, for sure. I think they're more close of an argument of who is the best of their time than, or just best in general. Like if you're just a diehard Magic and diehard Bird fan, then there is LeBron and Jordan. I mean, leave it to Shane for the Sota Pod to talk basketball. Love it. Wild leading, narrowly in shots 12-9 in this second period. So far, I mean, pretty much the same as the first. Both teams playing with a little bit chippiness. There've been some opportunities, both sides, from Nashville and from Minnesota. I mean, the love for KOIVU is just going to be throughout this entire broadcasting game, which is amazing to see as well. And I mean, some of the Wild players, and then we kind of highlighted this in the beginning of the stream here, probably like, I mean, respect KOIVU, respect the event and whatever, but like they weren't on the team when he was around, or probably like, okay, like I'm here to do my job and play some hockey. But you got to think that like just the positivity, the vibes at the arena and everything are somewhat working in their favor a little bit, at least just to get them hyped, no?
I mean, sure. It's hard to say. I don't know.
Was atmosphere and stuff like that, did that hype you up when you played at whatever level, or were you just kind of like, I do my routine, I show up, I do my job, I go home type of thing?
I mean, atmosphere was always fairly similar.
Okay.
Like good atmosphere, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It definitely has more effect on some people than others.
Yeah, for me it was nerves, man. I remember even just as a kid, I stopped doing like martial arts tournaments when I was 13, but from like 10 to 13, 3 years, like I fought a lot of people. And some of them were just like your run of the mill, like at the fucking like a Y gym, nobody there, a couple judges, and some were in like little community rinks or whatever with a whole fucking people watching. And I remember every time that I either got like I never got like completely knocked out, but like got knocked down, just referee stoppage, whatever, was in those bigger, more eyes on me type tournaments. I didn't like it. I mean,
I lean a little bit more towards what you said there, but I don't know. I largely was pretty zoned in.
Yeah, I was not zoned in because my instructor, he didn't even know the rules for half the tournaments we went to. He went like full Miyagi from Karate Kid, and he's like, I don't know, just hit the guy. So I'm like, fucking thanks. Like, I don't even know how to score points in this tournament, but thanks. So that probably added to the stress as well.
Math.
Well, I remember the first nice attempt by Nashville there, but the first tournament I went to, I just
attempt after that.
I just punched the guy straight in the nose, and I got disqualified. And fair enough, they're like, you can't just punch someone straight in the nose. Oh, and there it is. The captain, Roman Josi, who's an absolute stud, scores the first goal of this second period. Now 2-1 for the Nashville Predators. As I'm just watching the replay here. Fuck, he moves the puck so well. Just like, there was nobody there. Nobody there. What did I say? Moses style, just cleared that shit right up. Fucking walked right through the sea.
Split the ice like Moses.
Split the ice like Moses. And with just a real, honestly, kind of shitty backhand too, and he scores. So that was not the best defense by the Wild, and not the best read by Kakkonen at all, because as much of a stud as Josi is, and I commend him getting to the spot where he eventually let off that backhand. I mean, it wasn't a good shot at all. And 62 points or 63 points now in the season, his 16th goal for fucking the 31-year-old Roman Josi, arguably one of the most handsome players in the National Hockey League right now. I mean, he gives Kevin Fiala, I think, and Foligno a run for their money.
Foligno? Is he your number 2 on the team?
Oh yeah, 100%. Clap bomb. Yes, we sent it, buddy. It's coming. It's gonna take a few weeks. It's coming right from Teespring. Yeah, I would say, Bill. I mean, from some market research, I've asked some people, and from my personal.
Well, so that means you follow Bar Down Beauties. That's pretty much all that tells me.
No. I've asked a few other people. I feel like we've had this conversation before. I feel like we've had this exact. I think we've had this exact conversation before.
I'm taking. Oh, so who did I say then?
Well, if not, it's just deja vu with Bar Down Beauty. Just that comment tells.
No, I'm just asking you though. Like, so you think that Foligno is the clear number 2?
Oh yeah,
hands
down.
You ready to feel dumb?
Well, I mean, you're a Minnesota boy, so what, Merrill? Because the mustache and just.
Oh no, I mean, if we're gonna go bias, I'll say Kalen Addison, but no.
Oh, okay. Of course, right.
No, dude, Zuccarello is every bit more handsome than Foligno is.
Oh damn, Benning! I missed what happened to Benning. He's down on the ice right now, but getting too distracted by all these man rockets.
Too busy touching yourself about Foligno.
Yeah. Zuccarello, I mean, he's up there. You're right.
I'm taking Zuccarello over.
I have them on my. That's why I'm not even watching the guy. I have just Zuccarello's face, Foligno's face right now next to each other. It looks like Benning's okay.
Bukestad took him down, but
his head collided into him. That's why. Yeah, probably a little shooken up there. Bukestad's a big boy. I mean, fuck, he is
large.
He's a wall over there, so that looked like his neck's gonna be sore tomorrow. We'll just say that. Yeah. Clap bomb is back with the trades. Let's get right into it. Mock trade: Minnesota Wild receive Jacob Chikrin, Phil Kessel, and 50% retain. Arizona receives 2022 first, Fiala Lambos 2023 third. Buffalo receives 25% of Kessel contract 2023.
I don't think that can happen.
Holy fuck.
That can't happen.
Why can't that happen?
Because Kessel's already got salary retention with Toronto.
Oh, that's right.
Otherwise, it's a really fun trade.
Otherwise, I give you some claps. Clap bomb. I commend you.
I actually don't think that gets it done with Arizona.
Really?
To be honest, I think Arizona says no. Oh, sorry, I missed Lambos. Shit. Never mind. That definitely gets it done. I honestly think Kessel probably isn't included in that deal, as much as I'd fucking love for him to be here, that goddamn beauty. But I think he just makes the contract piece way too tough to make work. So I don't know if it's something else that Arizona includes, or if you remove something from the return price, but Fiala, Lambos, and 2022 first for Chikrin and a middling pick. probably gets done. The question is that what you want to do if you're the Wild?
Yeah.
Because Phil Kessel, as much as I love him, the salary is a concern there, but also the fit. Where are you going to play him?
The team doesn't need any more winners.
He's not going to fit on this team's third line. Whereas in Pittsburgh, he was the perfect third line guy because they wanted a third threat. Our third line is a lockdown defensive unit that can also score. He is not that.
Yeah.
And I don't see well, I guess in this scenario, Fiala is leaving, so he plays somewhere in the top 6. So maybe.
Yeah.
He'd be great for the power play too.
He was a third
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Look, I love it. Keep the mock trades coming because we just love the conversation on it.
That's a very interesting one. Although I do think there's other teams that are going to be going fucking ham for Chychrun.
Yeah, and there's other teams that are going to vastly overpay for him because I don't have anything against Jacob Chychrun. I think he's a phenomenal hockey player. Yeah. I don't think he's even I shouldn't say even close. I don't think he's valued as high as what people are valuing him at right now. And based on that reaction, I'm just waiting. And the play is ensuing. And holy fuck, what a shot! Greenway's on fire tonight,
dude. After that Dougie Dangles earlier this game, he's got something going.
Wow.
And yes, clap, Bob. I'm with everything you're saying.
Again, shout out to my business partner Dylan, who I share this office with, who loaded up the soundboard with some beauties today. I don't
know if he's trying to stroke my ego here or not, or maybe like Clap Bomb doesn't even know, but I'm absolutely obsessed with Phil Kessel.
Yeah, well, talk about it. Tell Clap Bomb actually like the extent of how much you're obsessed with Phil Kessel, because there's 2 players, Clap Bomb, that hockey just swoons over more so than anybody else, and they are, well, one of them is Phil Kessel.
Oh, Phil Kessel. Ever since he gave the middle finger to the Wisconsin Badgers, a Madison boy born and raised, and came to the Gophers. And to this day, I don't think I've seen a better Gopher than Phil Kessel. Only played 1 year because he's just that fucking good. And he actually scored a goal in Madison. People booed the shit out of him. He just fucking threw his hand up to his ear and went along their student section. Ever since that, I love the man. On top of that, my wife is just fascinated by him because of how fat and unshapely he is, and is still a stud at hockey. Got traded to Pittsburgh, won back-to-back cups there, was sick. Named my dog after him. I mean, we've just got the full gambit here. I love Phil Kessel.
And, his sister Amanda, too, is an unbelievable
hockey
player in her own right, too. One of the best American women hockey players. She'll probably go down the Hockey Hall of Fame, I imagine, someday.
She might be in the discussion, but she's more, kind of like his stereotype. Like, she's definitely a goal scorer. I don't know how her, full game is, but she's a great player.
Our new hockey fan here saying, dang, I missed the last 2 goals. They just scored. What happened? Well, the last one, you'll be able to check it out soon. Oh my God. The scoring is coming out hot now too, as Nashville just answers. But Greenway had a very, very nice goal earlier there. But look at this in the second period. The goals are opening up here.
Yossi's was okay. Wasn't anything special.
No, it wasn't anything special, but I'm saying it's just there's goal scoring now.
I wasn't challenging anything you said. I was just throwing that out there as a comment.
Yeah, it was kind of a weak backhand. Not a Crosby looking backhand.
Not a Crosby backhand, that's for sure.
Oh, this was nice.
It's just unfortunate that the puck floated out there and not much the goalie could do.
So who's number 26? Is that the...
It's like Tomasino or something?
Tomasino.
I don't know much about him.
No. Philip Tomasino, 22nd point, 9th goal of the year. So not bad. No. But that's what I'm saying. They have depth. Like I said, I have Hockey DB up just so I can just see the landscape and see who these players are and what they're doing on the point side of things, not the analytics side. And as far as scoring, they have depth. So kind of what I thought going into this game is turning out to be true, in that if the Wild are gonna keep scoring, Nashville can match it 100%. And both of the teams' goaltending, are good. Kakkonen obviously hasn't been as strong as the beginning of the season. I'd say Nashville probably has the edge in goaltending. If you want to say like their top goaltender is Miles better, but
Well,
he's not
keep
net
the team,
tonight,
but he's not playing right now, right?
Yeah. So he's not playing tonight. So that's the thing. Like if the Wild are gonna take advantage of that, they got to be careful and understand that Nashville can come right back, and they're proven to do so in this game. So very exciting. We'll get back to some of these comments here. Sean Kessel's sister played for the Gophers as well, right?
Yep. She certainly did.
Clap on with another trade snare. Minnesota receives Alex Kerfoot to Toronto for 3rd and a 6th.
What do you think, Isha? He doesn't do much for me personally.
No, I liked him in the BCHL. I believe he played in Penticton, so he was a boss over there. No, I think there was too much hype with him. I don't know. He's okay.
Decent player.
He's a 3rd liner.
He doesn't upgrade much.
He's a 3rd scoring liner. He's not a 3rd liner who plays a lot of defense. So again, a 3rd round pick and a 6th value wise, it's enough. Don't get me wrong. It might even be more than enough, ever so slightly. Who knows? Like you probably just do it for a 3rd, in my opinion.
I don't know if Toronto takes that either.
I don't think Toronto takes that, but I'm just saying like that's where the value is. But I don't know.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
He doesn't move the needle for me at all. And that's like, and I'm a BC boy. I watched him in the BCHL. For me to say that unbiasedly, I mean, that should count for something. Look at this. Clapbaum just loves you.
Clapbaum gets it.
It's like Edina and Wisconsin, right?
I hate Wisconsin way more than Edina.
No, but those are just the two that like.
To be honest, I don't even hate Edina that much. It's just more fun to hate them. Like, it's a fun hobby to hate Edina.
Well, you don't think that? Okay, so
Isha, you're gonna see Edina front and center. I literally live a mile from the border of Edina, so
it's funny doing the podcast and like listening to Russo and shoot, who's his co-host before Anthony? Anyways, the guy who started that whole night, Jim Suhan. I listened to some of his stuff locally as well, and like all their ads was like Edina Galleria and this and that. So like I knew what Edina was, and but I didn't know what it was. I just heard the name all the time.
There's not much to see at the Galleria because you can't afford anything that's there.
I know trust me. I listened to 2 of those ads, and I knew right away that I was not going to be visiting the Edina Galleria. Clapbaum saying, and again, Clapbaum, thank you for joining in. We appreciate your patience on the prize. I promise you it's coming, and we got it all sorted. So appreciate your back here. Chilling with us here tonight. Nashville Predators, Minnesota Wild, as the Predators lead 3-2, shots 16-15 in favor of the Wild. My top favorite players are number 1, Marc-Andre Fleury. Actually, I think Marc-Andre Fleury. It could be Theo, but I'm guessing Marc-Andre.
No, it could be Hayden.
It could be Hayden. That's a player. Kessel number 2, Ryan Reeves number 3, which is respect. 4 Zegras, 5 Gallagher, 6 Stutzel, 7 Brady Tkachuk, 8 Boldy, 9 Merrill, 10 Tuck. Merrill, that's an off the board pick, but you're in Minnesota.
You know what though? The one on here that I respect the most, number 5. I don't think Brendan Gallagher gets nearly as much love as he should.
No, and from a guy from Vancouver, BC, too. He doesn't get enough love in this province. Yeah, he's from Vancouver. He does not get enough love from his province because he's a Montreal Canadian, right? Like, he trolled. I don't know if it was an intentional troll, but he definitely fired up the media out here and our boy Sakaris last summer as he wore a YVR, which is the Vancouver Airport shirt, to his end of the year press conferences with with the Canadians. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's coming back to Vancouver! Oh my god, why would he wear a Vancouver Airport shirt and not like just a Vancouver brand if he wanted to show support?"
Laundry day, boys.
Well, Brandon Gallagher, he's got a cheeky smile there. He knows how to play the media, and he's such a beauty, to be perfectly honest. He's such a fucking beauty.
I mean, that he just put that on because it got him an extra like $500,000 in negotiation.
100%. And brilliant. I respect the hell out of him. I would love him if he didn't have to wear that atrocious Habitant jersey. Gally is a beast. Just seeing him all bloody and still punching kids, just chef's kiss. No,
it's gonna feel gross saying this, Isha, but I wish that we could see like a year or two of him and Brad Marchand playing on a line together.
Oh my god.
It was so crazy seeing the two of them do their interview segments after the Worlds.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say they play together on the Worlds.
Real tight buddies, and they're like, "Yeah, I still fucking hate him, but he's cool right now."
That's what's okay. I rip on the Worlds because like it's during the playoffs. No one's watching the Worlds, right? But it's actually really fucking cool hockey because of those storylines. Because you see like bitter rivals who just like would never have played for an Olympic team together because they're maybe just they're not at that level or whatever, or maybe one is and what isn't.
Yeah.
But going to the Worlds, it's just a whole other animal. So it is a really fucking cool tournament. It just sucks it's in such a bad time that it's half diluted anyways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, respect for this too. John Merrill has an incredible flow. If that's why he's on your list, great. For his play, I wouldn't put him in my top 10. And yes, Marc-Andre Fleury. I assume there. Hey, for Darren Fleury's story and what he did on the ice, 100%. I understand how he's not everyone's.
I think my only overlap on this list is Kessel, to be completely honest.
Zegras maybe someday, right? Zegras maybe someday.
I really like Trevor Zegras. I don't know if he'll ever be in my like top list or whatever, but I'll always enjoy watching him play, especially being an American boy. Dude, him in World Juniors was just unfair.
I don't want it.
So good.
That I honestly think that's the one I'll remember the most. And like I when the World Juniors was on Vancouver Island in Victoria and in Vancouver, that was a terrible year for Canada. They didn't even get bronze. I think they placed 5th. It's still silver hurt more last year than that fucking tournament. And I like went to games at that tournament. It was on home soil. So obviously it was disappointing when Canada had a dud, but last year hurt more, Hoppy. Last year hurt more because the Team Canada, they teased us. They had the easy matchups all the way up until the last game. And then the US who played the total opposite tournament, played all the tough teams in the beginning, just stomped Canada in that fucking final game.
When is Minnesota going to get a fucking World Junior? I need it.
Dude, why haven't they had a World Junior?
I don't know, man.
And fucking Red Deer gets like one every second year.
Doesn't make sense to me, man. Dude, that'd be so cool. I'd go to every game.
Well, they'd have 2, so they'd have one. Well, what they'd probably have one in a really what's one of like the nicest college rinks there. They'd probably have the lesser games like the Group B there, then have all the Americans play like the Team USA's group at the XL. That's usually what they do.
Well, there's a couple college rinks that would work, but I guess but do they usually have multiple surfaces? Like what do they do in Buffalo?
I think they had Buffalo and Toronto. Or Buffalo, Toronto, or Buffalo somewhere else close by, or somewhere in Ontario, Buffalo, Hamilton, or something, some bullshit like that. Because here it was in Victoria, which only had a 5,000 seat arena, where the Victoria Royals play the WHL, and then obviously Rogers. Is it Rogers? Yeah, Rogers Arena, with Vancouver. I almost said fucking GM place there for a second. That was a throwback. Score still 3-2. I know we've been talking what the fuck are we even talking? World Juniors here a little bit ago. Team Canada USA as I look back at this game, but way better second period from an entertainment aspect for hockey fans watching this game, as well as Minnesota's just finished up a power play, and surprise, they didn't do shit on it. Clap bomb saying to Minnesota, Brendan Gallagher to Montreal, Fiala, a 2nd round pick and a 4th round pick. Look, I don't think that like Minnesota is gonna have to overpay for Gallagher. I think like if anything, like
I think it'd be 1 for 1 if anything, and I think that I think
Montreal is gonna have to sweeten.
Well, and with the amount of long-term contracts that the Wild currently have, I just don't think they can afford to bring on a guy like Gallagher who's like making fair money, like 6.5. Like I get it for him, but
he's got a lot of miles on him.
I think he's got 5 or 6 more years, and he's 29, and it's just tough for the Wild to commit like that when they've got people like Boldy coming up. I think if they trade Fiala, it's for either futures or a young player, or to bring in a like 1/2C.
I think he's got 5-6 more years if he's lucky, man. He's got a lot of miles on him because, like, again, and that's his
I think
style.
Gallagher can play it out. I just think it's tough for the Wild when they've got long term with Eck, long term with Spurgeon, long term with
Yeah.
Brodin, like
You don't want a
long term
guy
with Kaprizov. They're gonna go long term with Boldy. Like it's tough.
totally, and you don't want a guy making over $6 million who's not producing at the end. You can't afford it with.
It'd be fun. I would absolutely enjoy watching Gallagher play here, though.
It'd be a great addition. It'd be, I mean, like, imagine how hard the Wild would be to play with if you inserted a Gallagher into this roster as well.
But yeah, I think right now, I would be shocked if the Wild trade for a winger. I would be pretty surprised.
Yeah, they need a center. They really do.
They need a center. They need defense. Some people would argue they need goaltending. I think we could debate that a little bit, but literally wing is the only position that's like very strongly solidified.
Yeah.
So that's why. But as far as on paper, I think it's if Fiala's not going to sign with you and he's not going to come to the terms on a deal, like the Gallagher for Fiala type thing isn't out of whack as far as like definitely get rid of those picks, maybe add something coming from Montreal on that. But
yeah, like a late round
it makes
pick,
sense
some sort of sweetener
to an extent.
Yeah. I mean, and since Clapbaum's a Wild fan and he loves Gallagher, from a fan point of view, I can see why you'd swoon over that trade scenario 100%. With me, I can't remember when like a trade happened and I was like, oh fuck yeah, one of my favorite players is coming to my team. Like I don't know if that
Kessel for me.
Yeah, it's Kessel for you with Pittsburgh. Yeah,
I lost it. I didn't even believe it.
I don't think it's ever happened for me now that I think about it. From the draft side of thing, I was going to honestly curl up in a ball if the Vancouver Canucks didn't draft Quinn Hughes, and that fell into their lap. So I was happy on that, but I think it's a little bit different. It's different via trade or free agency. There's just because they choose to come there. A trade, no, but some of these higher level players with their no moves to an extent, yes. Yeah, interesting. I'm trying to ponder on the fly, and I really don't think it's ever happened. I mean, when Vokun signed in Washington, I was pumped. Don't get me wrong. He had an absolute. Oh, JB. Okay, actually, no, you're right. You're right, Shane. That was it. Jay Beagle. I was fucking pumped when he signed with the Canucks. It was just, I wish it was if it was just him that signed, I'd be even more excited. Why I think I forgot about that is because that wasn't the only, I shouldn't even say shitty contract, but it was a shitty contract. That was dealt out in that free agency.
Another one that was kind of fun for me, mostly because I liked the player, but I couldn't actually like them because of the team they played for. Carl Hagelin to Pittsburgh was fun.
Yep, Carl Hagelin, exciting player, fast player.
Dude can fucking cruise, and I'm sorry, I don't think there's ever been, with the exception of, well, I guess throw Yager in there, but Hagelin's got the best flow, period, ever.
Yeah, and he's good looking player there too. Yeah, he's a Swede. What's funny is Carl Hagelin was always the player that like you thought had more points than he did every season. Like when I always thought no, but you know, because he just plays big because he's so fast and he's always explosive and he does a lot of great things on the ice. But I always like pegged him as like, you know, like a Granlund 40-point player. The guy's like 20-point player.
Yeah.
But nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying a lot of my hockey friends that I talk hockey with, they all had the same reaction when we like looked up his points. Like, oh my god, Carl Hagelin, he's not like a second liner. And I was like, no, he's just a really good hockey player that you can insert to your lineup, and you know he does things right.
Yeah.
Nino for Clutterbuck was fun.
That was such a steal too.
Yeah,
it's funny though because like a lot of the casual Wild fans like they liked Clutterbuck because he was tough, even though he's the fakest tough guy out there. And he's one really
tough.
knew.
He's just big.
No, but everyone thought that he was the tough guy, and no one really knew who Niederreiter was. So, like at first, people were kind of pissed. I loved it though. I was so happy because Nino Niederreiter had so much potential. Obviously, turned into Victor Rask. So say what you will about it, but it was fun while he was here.
Hey, if it wasn't for Victor Rask, maybe Kirill Kaprizov never becomes the player he is today. I said maybe. Okay, I said maybe.
Or if he never plays with them, maybe he's leading the league right now.
Yeah. How many periods are there? Three 20-minute periods.
There could be overtime if they're tied.
There could be overtime, and in that case, it's 5 minutes, 3-on-3, which is fucking wild, no pun intended. And then if that doesn't get it done, we go into a shootout.
Isha's precious shootout.
I like the shootout. I like the skills. I like the skills part of the game.
I think Furbalicious would enjoy the shootout because it hasn't been burnt out yet for them. At first, like,
dude,
I
since
like
3-on-3, it hasn't been burned out.
I'm over it.
If you're a Wild fan right now, you're over it because you have back-to-back games going to the fucking shootout. So I understand that.
Well,
but
it's no fun when you don't have Pateri Numelin.
I was just gonna say, it's funny Hoppy says that, given that his favorite Wild player of all time was a shootout specialist first and foremost.
Yeah, dude, I liked it back then. Maybe if Numelin still played, I'd like the shootout.
Well, there's no shootout specialist right now. There was one Swede. He played in Edmonton. Oscar. Do you remember him with the spinorama move?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
What was his last name?
It's Linus.
Linus Omark. Linus Omark. Okay, yeah.
He
was
goal
fucking
that he scored.
sick.
His goal that he scored with Sweden was fucking unreal.
Oh, the
Datsuk, and then he kissed the pipe down. Oh my god.
He had some dangles, man. He had some beautiful even the NHL one with like the spinoramas, whatever. It just kind of throws the goalie off. But spinorama then smashes the stick on the ice before the wrist shot. It was just beautiful.
Quick shout out, had another bent paddle, cold press black, delicious. That's another one that Isha's going to be able to go check out in person here in a few weeks. Isha, what should my third period beer be? Should I bring in a Drecker or should I bring in one of the ones you got?
Ooh, bring in a Drecker. We'll save one of the Vancouver Island ones for the podcast. I had one of these last week.
I have like 3 left.
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, I'll let you decide.
Nope, I'm not deciding.
I hate when you do this. By the way, I talked about this last week. Unbelievable. Hard to fuck up a hazy double IPA when you're Phillips Brewing. The superpower. I feel like I got superpowers right now. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's awesome.
It hurts a little bit.
In the next break too, I will address this on-air sign because it's very sad. Snoop Dogg took a tumble and the ceramic Snoop Dogg figure took it right out.
Well, maybe this is a good time. Take a quick break. You can try and regather yourself, and then we'll jump in with where we left off on the comments.
All right, sounds good. Keep the comments coming. One exciting period. Nashville Predators versus Minnesota Wild. Really appreciate everyone tuning in to the Sota Pod, or I should say Sota Stream Watch Along here on the Sota Pod.
It's barefoot. He's got 12 crawlers for feet, yeah, it's barefoot. The luck he brings can't be beat, yeah, it's barefoot. He ain't won nothing from you, no, it's barefoot. Except them back channel brews, yeah. It's barefoot. It's barefoot.
And we are back here live on the Sota Pod YouTube channel. Hoppy just going to grab a beer. He was peppering me in the private chat. Which beer should I drink? I'm like, Hoppy, the reason we went to break was so I could put the batteries back in the on-air sign. I didn't have time to answer the private chat there. But again, welcome to everybody tuning back. We'll get the live stats back on the screen here when puck drops for the third period. Nashville Predators, Minnesota Wild. It's been a pretty even game. Shots-wise, 20 for the Wild, 18 for the Nashville Predators. Shooting percentage, I mean, the Nashville Predators are doing a little bit of a better job right now. And but the Wild, though, getting shots on net as the Nashville Predators have blocked 20 shots thus far from the Minnesota Wild. Nashville leading 3-2 in this tight affair thus far. I hope you all are liking those commercials, by the way. Our friends at Back Channel Brewing do an unbelievable job with their content game and providing you with the best commercials out there. We love playing those on our Sota Pod streams and video content, and we'll continue to showcase those more and more. A lot of our breweries and friends of the channel do that as well. We have one from Beer Dabbler, and if you're a fan of the Sota Pod podcast, you probably you've probably seen and heard of that one before. Hoppy doesn't know, but I'll bring him back here in the live stream. I was saying right when you like got up and I brought myself back on the screen. I was like, Hoppy, we literally took a break so I could.
I heard you. I was still here. I was hoping that you would give an answer, so I just grabbed two. Now one of them's gonna get warm, and that's on you.
Okay, fine. Which ones did you grab?
I grabbed one that you sent, and I grabbed one from Drecker.
Okay, which one did you grab that I sent?
I grabbed one that you sent.
Okay.
Which one am I drinking?
The unicorn?
That's not an answer. You said it with a question mark, and you don't even know what I picked.
No, that's why I'm asking. I don't know which one you picked. I'm guessing that you picked
Drecker or BC.
BC.
Okay.
Is it the unicorn?
Nope.
Oh, fuck. Oh, a nice pick. The High Five Hazy IPA.
The Yellow Dog High Five. I think this is one of the early ones that you were drinking when we were podcasting together, just because it's purple and gold.
So
that was literally the only reason.
Because the Vikings talk for sure. And upon buying that beer, and that was my gateway into Yellow Dog, one of the best breweries in British Columbia. That, sir, this is good. Don't get me wrong. This superpower, and they're similar. Like someone who's a fan of, IPAs, double IPAs, hazy IPAs, they'll put both these together and be like, I enjoy both of these. Like, why are you making me pick one or the other? I still think because that got me into it, that the High Five is my favorite hazy IPA and probably will be my favorite hazy IPA forever. But everything that Yellow Dog has done, other than one of their, they did a funky collaboration. Again, I'm just going to blame the brewery that they collaborated with that fucked it up. I don't even remember who they were. They were that insignificant in Vancouver. I shouldn't say that, but no, they just wasn't a fan of the collaboration, but everything else that they've done from their just basic lager has been unbelievable. They are the main sponsor of Sakaris and Price as well. So they show some love to the local British Columbia sports community as well. So huge fan of Yellow Dog. All of their cans. Oh, look at that. Matching the Waggle cap too.
Yeah.
Very much. Yeah. Love it. All their cans are very similar to just a matte color with a gold tint. Every single one. So
okay.
No,
I gotta wait for some of the foam to go away. So let's go back to there was an interesting one here that's probably going to give Isha a heart attack, but let's throw it in. So deal or no deal, Isha, to Minnesota, JT Miller and Thatcher Demko, to Vancouver, 2022 first, 2023 second, 2022 third, 2024 third, O'Rourke and Fiala.
Vancouver, I'm sorry, it's not enough for Demko.
Yeah, I think Demko really throws this off.
Demko is unmovable, in my opinion.
I think if the Wild sent O'Rourke a first and something,
hold on,
they'd consider JT Miller, wouldn't they? Or do you think he's just so solidified now with how good he's played?
JT Miller, they would consider. Demko's
Demko
completely
fucks
out of
it
it
for sure.
Because I got roasted on Twitter for this hobby. I was on Dylan's podcast, the BC Hockey podcast, and Janner threw in a really big haul. I think it was just for Demko, but from Edmonton. And it was and put it this way, it addressed everywhere. It was like a winger, a center, defenseman, and a goalie, and like some picks for, and like I was like, that's a haul. And like if you're Vancouver, you look at it and you go, value wise, you're getting everything that like Vancouver would ask in an overpayment for a Demko. So I was like, with that being said, you know, you could make that trade. I got absolutely, like, I'm talking like 3,000 views and like 40 comments, all calling me a donkey. Every single one. Dylan messaged
for making
me
the trade.
No, just like Cody Jansen commented on our live stream because we were doing a live, and he was like, "Hey, this trade scenario, Demko for this haul from Edmonton," and we were just talking about it.
So
and
what part were you getting called out for? I don't understand.
Well, like they thought I would said pull the trigger, even though I was just talking about the trade. It's like, honestly, value wise, like that addresses everything. But I didn't even say yes, I would do it. And Vancouver fans came at me like, you're
what
even
was the
talking.
Offer? What was the offer?
I'm gonna find it here, but it was a big haul. I'm just getting the BC Hockey podcast out. But yeah, like Demko from the fans, like mouths alone, untouchable. And I highly doubt that Vancouver is going to dangle him at all. He's their goalie of the future. They decided to part with a Markstrom for Demko.
Like, to be completely honest, I don't think that Vancouver is trading Demko for like Wallstedt. Like, Demko is a solidified, legitimate number one goaltender for a while. I think a lot of him.
Yeah, Dylan's been tweeting as much as I have, so I'm scrolling. But we can get to the next comment here. What do we got? We better win. I love you saying we right off the bat. It's so awesome.
I like this. To Arizona, 1,000 hockey fans, 75 brewskis, and to Minnesota, Kessel 99% retained. I mean, if that was actually possible, I would sign up for all of this. Plus, there's plenty of Minnesota hockey fans that we could talk into hibernating down to Arizona. A lot already do. And the brewskis, while I will say Minnesota is vastly superior, there are some really good breweries down in Arizona. The one I'll throw out that like definitely goes punch for punch with any from Minnesota is Wren House, WREN House. Incredible beer. They were so goddamn good.
There you go. I think Brewery Travels did a good Arizona episode too. Just off the top of my head, by the way. If you want to check that out. By the way, I have the thing up here. Demko for Puljujarvi, Yamamoto, Broberg, Stuart Skinner, and a draft pick.
I mean,
see, that's what I said. That's exactly my reaction. I was like, okay, I'm not saying yes, but I'm saying there's value there in return. I got fucking roasted. I had to make an address on the next episode saying, look, folks.
Tell you what,
like,
can we make it Bouchard instead of Broberg?
Ooh, I would have, on a personal note, I would have probably, if I was the GM, being like, add another first round pick and make it Bouchard and we'll talk.
But no, I mean, on paper, it's fair. Obviously, a great thing for Edmonton to do, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of things to factor in there with how people slot into the lineup and whatnot, but I mean, it's not the worst. I'm surprised you got shredded that hard. Well,
that's just because that's how much Vancouver fans love and value Demko's, and as they should. And it was funny, Poppy's like,
you know why though, Isha? You really know why?
They just
because
hate me.
No, well, that too. But if both of your star franchise goaltenders were playing in Alberta, that would kill people.
I'd fucking puke.
If it was to not Edmonton, maybe it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But you send both of them to Alberta. Oh man.
Oh god.
Oh, Quinn Hughes also going to Edmonton.
The memes. Yeah, it'll be absolutely horrible. I lost my train of thought there. I was gonna bring something up, but
Isha.
You like it, don't you?
I approve.
I told you. It's fucking good, man.
This might have just worked its way to the top of the list of what I've had of yours so far. This might be
I knew it would. I knew it'd be up there.
Huh.
See, the unicorn's unique, and I just personally like that. That is one of the best hazy IPAs I've ever had. And I stand by it.
Well, and it doesn't just have the look, man. Like it very much drinks like a hazy IPA, whereas today, like I feel like so many people just like it's a hazy IPA when like
no, okay, that is a thick bitch.
This is I Huh. I think that's in first place.
Furbalicious, by the way, saying, "Well, Beerfoot was a great."
Hey, Furbalicious, you move to
Beerfoot.
Cold Springs. I will take you to that brewery, introduce you to the beauties that made the video, and give you some delightful beer.
Beauties
Promise.
that made the video, but also appeared in some of these videos too.
Oh
as,
yeah, I'm 99% sure that the hooded Beerfoot is Josh.
Josh looks like a Beerfoot with his crazy hair, anyways. Like
That's fair.
Here we go. This one, honestly, we won't probably. Oh, to Minnesota, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Leon Draisaitl, Mitch Marner, all 50% retained. Toronto, Edmonton, lol.
Let's see. So they all get Rask. That would be fun to see multiple Victor Rasks playing for those teams. I'm in for that.
Oh man. Demko for 2022 first.
Sandine Campbell. Ooh. I mean, I still think it's a no, but that's interesting. It'd be more appealing if it was a first that wasn't going to be like in the 20s.
I don't even know who Sandine Campbell is, so I'm going to say no.
That's two different people.
Oh.
Rasmus Sandine is a defenseman,
Oh.
defensive prospect for the Leafs. Jack Campbell, is their goalie.
Buddy, I don't give a fuck about the Leafs. I don't know who these people are.
Jesus Christ.
But anyways.
Sean, if there's only going to be like 1,000 or 2,000 people in their 5,000 capacity arena, they can fit 1,000 for sure. And actually, I kind of want to go to a game down there. That seems like it'd be fun.
Sorry, my mic's tripping out.
Oh. Hey, you let me know when you're here for Malicious. For real. And back channel, like, I can stay unbiased because before I was even friends with them, top 5 brewery in Minnesota.
There you go.
Now they like slot up to being like my number 1 because they were in my top 5, and now like we're really good
friends with them, yeah.
But they were solidly established in my top 5.
Didn't address this comment. We brought it on the screen, but I just want to say it's ridiculous.
Oh,
Where will the 1,000 hockey fans?
I was talking about it, but okay.
It's I brought it up, but it was a quick turnaround. But yeah, no, that is funny. I know, like, it's they're a punching bag, the Arizona Coyotes. Don't get me wrong, but
hey,
like,
guess what? They've got the best jerseys in the league, so they at least have that to hang their hat on.
Well, that, and now they're going to be playing
Can we? All right, if we do a Chikrin deal, can we also trade jerseys? Can that be part of the deal?
Well,
because if so, I accept. I will trade anything for those jerseys.
Or just take the Sun Devils jerseys if they can somehow too, because like those are fucking amazing as well.
What's a
Isn't that the NCAA team? Sun Devils?
The Suns?
The college hockey team in Arizona.
Yeah. Their jerseys are pretty sweet too.
I felt stupid for a second. I was like, oh
sorry,
man, I fucked up the college hockey name.
I didn't know you were talking about the college team. I assumed you pivoted to basketball since you were talking.
No, I mean Phoenix. I mean the Suns have all right jerseys too, but no, since Nash left, I don't give a fuck with the Suns.
Actually, that would be really cool to time it up where you can go down there and see both a college hockey game and a pro game.
Oh, back to back.
That'd be fun.
I look again. That's why I said back to my original note of saying yes, they're a punching bag, and because of everything that franchise has done to themselves, you're allowed to rip on them. Oh, there's not another one. I'm probably about to see it.
Here's the real question, though. Like Isha, obviously, neither of us were ever gonna play Division I college hockey, right? But let's say you were a stud hockey player and had the chance to play in the US college hockey. Would you go to like a North Dakota, a Minnesota, a Michigan? Or if you were recruited and you could go in and be the stud on that Arizona State campus, would you go that route?
Arizona.
That just sounds like way more fun. I'm sorry.
Okay. I know it's like I'm making more out of a simple answer here. Short answer, probably Arizona. Depends on like how serious you were going to take your hockey career. If you're like, this is going to be my NHL, then 100% go to Arizona. If you really have the drive to go all the way, go to the bigger respected program.
Hang on, Isha. if you go and you are like the face of the Sun Devils, odds are, even if you don't get drafted, have any real opportunity, you're going to get offered a contract as soon as you graduate from the Coyotes. And then you just stay there and keep partying on the same college campus.
Again, but do you want to be a Coyote? Let's get back to the punch and bag.
Well.
Do you want to be a Coyote?
Yeah, I mean,
you know, you'll take a step back in stardom. I feel like your paychecks will go up. Don't get me wrong, but
all right, fair.
No, like fair either way, but that would be my answer. I feel like if you if you're really and if you're like a nerd of the sport too, and you got an offer to go play for the Gophers, like even as a Canadian, you're going to do that because that's historic, right? And dare I say, even like a Wisconsin program.
Gross.
All right, let's get back to the comments here. We got some comments buzzing. Really appreciate it. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you haven't already. It helps us tremendously.
What is beta college hockey?
Like,
Clapbaum, I need you to add clarification in another comment, and I will address this. I promise I'll circle back, but I don't even know what you mean by that.
If those didn't know, by the 4-2 score on the screen, the fucking goal horn and song here.
Fucking Yossi.
Our somber tone and the goal light. Yossi scores another one tonight. What an absolute stud. His 17th goal of the year. Now 49th point.
Ooh, that's a loaded question. All right, we're going to address this right now. He clarified best, not beta. That's really tough because in Minnesota, you've pretty much got 3 teams that are all like really experienced, deep, play a good brand of hockey, being the Mankato Mavericks, who are currently number 1. You've got St. Cloud State University Huskies, and you've got University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, all of which are fringe top 10 teams. And again, all have a ton of veteran experience, really good coaching, and just a deep, gritty lineup. The Gophers, for a long time, have been disappointing. They used to be the standard for college hockey in Minnesota, and it's gotten a lot more balanced. But right now, I'll tell you that they have the top skill out of all those teams, but they're very young and immature. So it's hard to say where that comes in. I would say that Mankato, until proven otherwise, Mankato is the leader from that perspective. But I'm ready to have the Gophers break my heart. I actually believe that they can do something this year. So we'll see.
Hobby, I was just scrolling Twitter and I saw Sean just tweeted Jordan Screenway 30 seconds ago.
I like it.
Oh man, Sean, you're a fucking beauty, man. Yeah, there's the comment.
Jordan Screenway. Man. I like it.
Raptors beat the Phoenix Sun a couple games back. There you go. It's really like overall, I root for the Raptors. Like they're the only. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that as my reasoning because then I'd have to say the same thing for the Blue Jays. I guess if I was a baseball fan, which I wouldn't. I rooted for them when they went on their run. At that point, because they were Canada's team and they never been on a run before, and it was just cool that our nation was coming together, and that doesn't happen often anymore, anyways. But overall, it just sucks that there's only one Canadian team in the NBA because, like, fuck Toronto.
That's so weird that you hate the Maple Leafs so much, but then rally behind other Toronto teams.
No. Teams, no. Team once. For one run, yes. And
so you're a phony. You're a fraud.
No, and I kind of feel gross about it. I would never fucking support the Argos. That's fucking gross.
What the fuck's an Argo?
Their CFL team. And
JV football, sorry.
And their MLS team, I don't even know what the fuck they're called. I forget, but like no, I wouldn't support them either.
Who cares about baseball?
Yeah, well, the thing is, like my grandfather was very much into baseball. He passed almost 10 years ago now, and like when the poor guy was a Seattle Mariners fan, he was lucky to see the best of Ichiro Suzuki when he played there, but like it's been fucking sad for the Mariners when he was alive and after he died. So like The Mariners, if I followed baseball, it'd be the Mariners because of Grandpa Jim and because they're closer to Vancouver Island. But no, fuck the Blue Jays. And Blue Jays fans, like, they're just crazy, man. Crazy. You're crazy. To have they have an opportunity on the power play now as Ekholm goes into the box, and we have a comment up on the screen. Who's the best player in the league? And who's the best team?
Ooh.
Poppy, you want to start this one off?
I'll start team. You got to start player.
Okay.
Team. Fuck, man. For my money, right. I say the Florida Panthers, but I still need to see them win in the playoffs before I can totally ordain them.
Tampa Bay is the best team. They won Stanley Cups 2 years in a row, and their team hasn't changed. Tampa Bay.
It absolutely has changed. Are you high?
It's barely changed.
Their whole third line is gone.
Second question, a little bit, but
a little bit. Yeah, that makes more sense. I don't hate the Tampa Bay answer. They've definitely changed. But man, Florida is just a unit this year. I don't know.
They are.
That's tough. There's a lot of teams I'd throw into that discussion, but I'll go Florida for now. Isha, who's the best player in the league?
The best player in the league is Alex Ovechkin. Okay, the best player in the league is Connor McDavid, but honestly, behind him.
No, I think Cale Makar.
No, shut the fuck
Cale
up.
Makar or Andrei Vasilevsky.
This is a new hockey fan. Just tell him Connor McDavid.
No, Furbalicious, you watch Cale Makar, who's a star defenseman for the Colorado Avalanche, and tell me that he isn't every bit as good as Connor McDavid.
He can't skate like Quinn Hughes, so when you can learn to skate like Quinn Hughes, then we'll talk. But
what are you talking about? You are high. McDavid's definitely, I'd say, the ones to watch if you want to see forwards specifically who are the top of the league. It's probably McDavid, McKinnon, Draisaitl, Crosby,
Ovechkin. You got to throw him in there. He's scoring goals at 37.
Above Ovechkin. Matthews above Ovechkin.
What?
Yes.
No.
Matthews is the best goal scorer in the league today.
No, he will be when Ovechkin's out. Ovechkin's 100% the best goal scorer.
Ovechkin will go down as the best goal scorer that's ever played. Doesn't mean that he's currently a better goal scorer. No way.
I'm looking. How many goals does Matthews have right now?
Matthews is leading the league.
How much more than Ovi, though? Really?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
The release he has on that shot is just stupid.
You asked the wrong two people because we just like bicker way too much. But there's a bunch of names for you.
Hey, we got Sean. What up?
Cale Makar over McDavid.
And Matthews has more goals than Ovi since he joined the league. Suck a big old dick, Isha.
Oh my god. I talked about this, I think, even on
this is the story that's not being talked about enough, Sean. Maroon, if he could get 4 in a row, oh my god.
Then we thought the Pat trick was something unbelievable with 3 Stanley Cups in a row. Like, what, 4 Stanley Cups in a row? Dude,
you know what? Hey, Isha, this is proof, though, that it's okay to, like, coast and accept, like, you know.
Well, coast is the wrong word, but
it's not
accept
coast,
a lesser role, yes.
It's lesser role, lesser money, all of that. And, like, the dude probably couldn't be any happier, I'd imagine.
Dude, how many people have won 4 Stanley Cups in a row who, like, aren't on dynasty teams? You know?
I mean, try and tell me that Tampa's not a dynasty team.
Fair enough, but he did win with St. Louis. Yeah, fair. But I mean,
like what?
Outside
that was
of like
such a dumb comment.
Yeah. Outside of like Islanders and Edmonton, we'll say as those two particular, because like we can say that the Chicago Blackhawks have been a dynasty team in this era as well too, right?
Yeah, because Pittsburgh certainly hasn't.
Yeah. No, they aren't. But Maroon's something different. Like, do you think that like it's
what's crazy?
Is it crazy to think that maybe he would go, that he could be in the Hockey Hall of Fame because of this? Is that too crazy? Because we haven't seen
I
this
think
before.
that's crazy. I think it's crazy.
It's crazy, but is it too crazy?
It'd be different if he was like playing a more significant role. I don't think there's any chance of that. But
because
if
he's
happened,
would
I be mad? No. But what's crazy, man, is before he was with St. Louis,
he scored 30 goals, right?
That was a 1 year. Dude, he was a fucking goal scorer. He was putting up 25 like nothing. He did it with Anaheim and Edmonton. Yep. Dude, I'm shocked at what he's because like now, like anyone that watches him thinks that he's just like a
No,
thumper.
he used to be
He
a
was
power forward
he
goal
was.
scorer.
Yeah, dude. It's and
fuck
to
it,
be
throw him in the
honest,
Hall of Fame.
when he was
Hall
a
of
goal
Famer.
scorer, Isha, I didn't think he was as big as he is. I
No,
like
he's
I like ignored that piece of it. I
'Cause
just thought
Hoppy-
score goals.
Hoppy was a little leaner back then when he wasn't on the fourth line.
I don't think he was that much leaner.
He's a little bit leaner. He had to skate. He had a little bit more minutes. he
But
burnt
he-
off a little. Probably
that
drank a little
guy-
less Bud Light back then.
That guy,
Dude, I'm saying it
What a
now.
life.
Hall of Famer, man. Hall of
That
Famer.
shit beautiful than a motherfucker.
eh.
If that Dallas defenseman, Russian defenseman who got in a couple years ago, got in. I don't even remember his name. Then we'll throw him around.
Huh? Dallas Russian defenseman who happened to what?
There was some defenseman who got in a couple years ago who just was not Hall of Fame worthy. And if he can get in, then we'll fucking throw Maroon in too. 4 Stanley Cups.
Can't even say who it is.
I forget. And that's why like you shouldn't forget a Hall of Famer's name.
That says more about you.
Maybe. I'm all over the place with the comments. Where are we right now?
Holy shit, there's a lot. Oh, Clapbomb wanted to weigh in on the abilities here. 1 McDavid, 2 McCarr, 3 Matthews, 4 McKinnon, 5 Vassy, 6 Draisaitl, 7 Crosby, 8 Ovi, 9 Fox, 10 Eichel. I don't think Fox belongs in the top 10. I would say the rest of this isn't outrageous. I'm pretty okay with most of that list. I do think I would put it's tough with like a guy like Vasilevsky. I don't know if he should be 1, 10, 5 like he is. That's hard. I don't know. That's a fairly
pretty good
reasonable list. I would put Fox on the outside, and I think we got to see Eichel fully come back. But
Replace Fox and
healthy
Eichel
though. Healthy Eichel, I'm absolutely in. And then who else would you add in then at number 10, Isha, if you had to?
Mark Stone.
I don't hate that.
Mark
I would
Stone.
say I would probably say Hedman.
Oh, see, that's like you could. I hate even saying this, but you could take Crosby out for either of those two players too at this stage of his career.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
I said you were gonna hate it.
It's not a matter of taking Crosby out. It's that you think that Ovi should be in over Crosby right now when Crosby is leaps and bounds better today than Ovechkin. It's not close. Now at their height, very comparable.
I'm the opposite. See, I think at their hype, Crosby
Ovechkin
was way better at their peak.
Good, man. Sorry.
Hey.
Today, again, I'm speaking specifically today. Dude can still rip it. I'm amazed at what he's doing at this age. He's very, very fringe top 10 for me. I was being nice to you, not saying that him and Fox should be out.
Dude, when you score that many goals, it just catapults you into the top 10. It's like a knockout.
He's not even top 5 in goals right now.
It's like a knockout.
He's not even
artist.
top 5 in goals.
It's like a knockout artist in the UFC. You can have a 15-9 record, but if you knock people out, you put on a show. If you have the stats to back it up, you'll get up there.
I do think that Shesterkin deserves some consideration here. I don't know if he's there yet, but this season, holy shit, man.
Dude, he's having an unbelievable season. He's an absolute joy to watch between the pipes. It's truly incredible.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else that we're not thinking about?
I mean, the league's so good right now. There's probably a few. Like, where does Sebastian Aho lie now? Like, he might be up there soon.
He's not top 10.
Anyways, you could go through every team and be like, oh, is that player up there? I don't know, because that's how good and that's great. That's how good the league is these days. I think that top 10 though was pretty damn good. Clap bomb.
No, yeah, that's very good.
I almost caught a fly ball at a Mariners game. It went under my seat, but the people behind me grabbed it. Should have been quicker. The last baseball game I went to was like a AAA game, one of the Blue Jays feeder teams in Vancouver. And this poor lady in front of me got the ball to the head twice. And the second time I had to get stitched up. I felt so bad. IREC TV saying Blackhawks' reign of terror is over. It's sad, but we were awesome. Well,
they were awesome. They are in for quite the stretch here now, though.
I like this.
I don't disagree.
Um,
They're very different players. I don't even
no.
think like at their heights that you can compare the two of them because they both did so much in such different ways. But I will say today, if like either of them was added to a contender, Crosby does way more for a team than Ovi does.
It hates me. I hate
It hates me. It hates me.
I hate to agree. And I mean, I joke too because like I've never liked the Pittsburgh Penguins because I've always
That's totally fair.
I've always been a Washington guy, so like
I've hated the Capitals for the same reason. It's
no,
okay.
I know that's what's it's just like it's yin and yang here on the Sota pod, but it's funny that like I still have so much respect for Crosby for what he's done for obviously hockey in the NHL, being the face of the NHL for so long, and then obviously Hockey Canada and Team Canada as well. That it's just like I have more respect for him right now than a McDavid because McDavid hasn't done anything for me yet as far as like hardware. And I know it's not his fault with the Olympics. I get it. But like,
but see, I also think McDavid is like the most physically skilled player that we probably ever
will
have,
see.
maybe even will see. But I do agree that there's still dimensions there that need to be filled in. And I do think that like if you want to win the Stanley Cup this year, Crosby gives you more than McDavid does. I firmly believe that.
Crosby.
I also think you could argue, not on pure skill, but if I could have either Draisaitl or McDavid, I'd consider Draisaitl. I think I'd maybe go with him.
For skill alone.
I think McDavid, again, most physically gifted player, period.
Well, speed.
But I
his
think
skating is second to none right now.
And his hands too, but I think just the way
Hands
the heavy game that Draisaitl plays, and he's a way better goal scorer than McDavid. I think that's something that is harder to find, right? Like you're not gonna find a McDavid, but I think the gap from McDavid to someone who plays that kind of game, and the gap from Draisaitl to someone who plays that game, it might be a bigger gap.
Yeah, it's
kind of the whole replacement level player type argument, right? It's not how good is the player, it's how much better are they than the next guy that would come in.
No, for sure. Irex saying Patrick Kane came into our bar with the cup and did karaoke after
what's our
Jimmy
bar?
Buffett, after
Irec
Jimmy
TV,
Buffett
what's
concert.
the bar?
Same 5 or 6 years ago. Patrick Kane, by the way, one of the most skilled National Hockey League players of all time as well.
Best hands, period. Best shootout player, period. Like, no debate there.
Oh, it's magic. Like, I know Datsuk's the magic man, but he's the magic man for other reasons. Patrick Kane is a wizard with his stick. It's absolutely insane. Datsuk doesn't get enough love either because we're talking about Crosby and Ovechkin. I mean, I know he's not in the league.
The best player that I've ever seen.
Datsuk might have been the best player that I've ever seen too, Hoppy. Like,
it's not even might for me. I hate the Red Wings, and I have all the respect in the world for Pavel Datsuk.
Not underrated when he was in the league, but I don't think the league right now does enough to pay homage to him and really show off that like this player played in our league. This Russian player.
I think it's the same thing as Jágr, though. In fairness, like Jágr will be so much more heralded when he actually stops playing. Same with Datsuk.
Yeah, but Jágr did like a whole reunion tour and dominate. It's like it was a little. Their stories are so different.
I'm not saying that they're not different. I'm just saying the fact that they both still play probably is why they're not as celebrated yet.
Fair. I think Jágr's will still be bigger than Datsuk's.
Of course it will, and it should. I'm sorry. Like Jágr is, if you look at like points in the history of the NHL and the fact that he left 3 of his peak years of his
and
career.
He's 50, still playing.
Right, but like Jaromir Jágr is a top 5 player ever. Period.
Yeah.
Whereas Datsuk won't ever get that recognition because no one pays attention to the two-way game when you talk about like the greats. But Pavel Datsuk is the best two-way player ever. Anyone who sorry Z, he's better than Bergeron. I know you'll hate me now, but
no, he is, and Z would probably agree with you.
And that's got nothing to do again. Bergeron's a fucking freak. Let's be clear. But Pavel Datsuk he's
literally an alien. Have you seen him?
It makes no fucking sense. None.
And he's not ripping it over in what is he in Yekaterinburg right now in fucking Siberia or whatever. But
is that a real place, Yekaterinburg?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just bumblefucking.
No.
That was quite the name.
Fucking there was
Yekaterinburg.
There was that supposed to be Chara 2.0. He played with the Canucks, this like monster of a defenseman, and he ended up going back to that team. So that's how I know it's in Siberia. The bantamweight champion of the UFC is also from Yekaterinburg. So there you go. Peter Yan.
That's my new favorite place in the world.
Which, by the way, Hoppy, Peter Yan will be defending his. All right, it won't be defending. Actually, he'll be, I think, unifying the belt with Aljamain Sterling on April 9th when I'm in Minnesota for UFC 273.
What does that even mean? What's unifying?
So the champion was out on I think over a year with injury, so they had to make an interim belt to keep the division going because they need to sell tickets for championship fights. So they did like an interim belt where the top contenders of the division fought for an interim belt.
But I think then the next fight should be him coming back to try and reclaim his belt.
No, that is okay. That is the next fight. But what's crazy about it is the only reason he lost, and this has never happened in the UFC before, this was the first time it happened, was he delivered a disqualification knee to the guy's head, an illegal knee to the guy's head. And instead of the guy getting back up and a point being taken away from Peter Yan, the guy tapped out. And by disqualification, he didn't tap. It wasn't officially tapped out, but he just couldn't continue. So he won the belt on a disqualification blow. It was the first time ever. So it wasn't even like a real win. So it's going to be a hell of a fucking match. Anyways, I digress.
What up, Andrew?
Andrew B, what's up?
The boy's back. Furbalicious, no, probably not going to win this game. All the more reason to tune back in for the next game, though. Looking for the revenge tour.
I don't think it's next Sunday. We'll be doing a watch on. We'll be doing.
I don't think there's a game on Sunday.
No, we'll be
they
doing...
play on the trade deadline day,
right?
Which is Monday.
Which that'll be that's always a fun day. That's always a fun day if you're a hockey nerd. I mean, I used to skip my entire. Now I'm tongue-tied. I'm like, should I say university or college? I used to skip my entire day of classes at university when it was either trade deadline, or if I was doing summer classes, if it was free agency. Such a fun day. But yeah, so next Sunday we won't be doing a watch long, but we will be doing a Sota stream, 2-hour podcast recording. We'll have some guests and we'll continue to take your comments and reactions to that live as we do here. IREX saying, and we'll catch up with the comments here, folks. Hoppy and I have just been engaging in conversation here during this live watch long. IREX saying the bar is Riley's in Elmhurst, Illinois. The video of him singing may still be on YouTube. Hey, look it up and throw it in the live chat if you find it, and we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Sean Pitlick, 12 goals on 38 shots, ties it up late for the Habs. God, this I am honestly, Hoppy, I'm so conflicted because I've fallen in love with Rem Pitlick, but I cannot support or feel good for the Habs in any capacity.
Martin St. Louis is their coach. You will absolutely support.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck.
I do.
Okay. I know you do. I know.
Okay, Isha, if
Burrows is there and I don't give a fuck, Hoppy.
No. Hang on. What if the man that you and Russo both love so fondly was the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens?
Who's that?
Well, you always talk about it. Who's your favorite Canuck?
My favorite Canuck? Now I'm like, I don't like.
All right, we're gonna leave this conversation entirely.
If Bieksa?
What? You got to take a little bit deeper.
Bure? He doesn't speak English. Bure doesn't speak English. You wouldn't be a fucking coach.
What does that matter? English doesn't do you any good in Montreal, anyways.
That's true. He doesn't speak French. No, I still wouldn't care.
All right.
Like I said, Rem Pitlick moves more needles than those former Canucks, and that's why I'm feeling conflicted. Recency bias, sure, but
Remington.
And by the way, my two favorite Canucks of all time or I guess three, because one is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Rick Rippon, the best enforcer of my era of watching hockey of all time. And Ken Bieksa on the defense. Love Ken Bieksa. Such a personality. Was a great defender.
I like him more now than I did then.
Maybe a lot of people locally, he was always doing those quirky antics as a
Sure.
player too. So like, I get it. Other markets just never saw it. Kevin Bieksa and then Pavel Bure, are my favorite players.
Man, I had a big old hockey crush on Marcus Naslund.
Naslund was unbelievable.
He was sick. Like I remember back in like the early, maybe even mid 2000s. Like I was playing as the Canucks with like the Sedins on the second line, and I did it just because Naslund was filthy.
Dude, the West Coast Express was one of the best lines in hockey. When Vancouver was at their peak with that core mid 2000s. Right?
Who was the third guy?
It was Marcus Naslund, Bertuzzi, and Brendan Morrow, or not Brendan Morrow, Brendan Morrison. Sorry.
Yeah, Morrison.
Brendan Morrow.
Oh, that's right. It was Bertuzzi that played on that line.
Yeah.
I knew
Bertuzzi.
Morrison. Bertuzzi, I forgot because he's such a fucking scumbag.
Yeah, I mean,
again, people.
No, he is a scumbag, dude.
What he did, what he did makes him an absolute scumbag. But like everyone likes to pretend that it was just out of nowhere, versus like the player was definitely doing things to antagonize.
Yeah, and
doesn't make it okay at all. But
Bertuzzi also was just like not. He was just kind of a grump. He was just not like a smiling human being. We'll just say that. Like he's kind of a crazy motherfucker. So like yes, the wires crossed after a lot of. I mean, it was leading up to that. It was games leading up to that, right? It was. Anyway, we don't have to get into the whole story, but yes, what he did was wrong, and he's not the most well-liked guy. We'll just say that.
Oh, dude, one of the best players in Twins history is a Canadian guy, Justin Morneau, and he wore Bertuzzi jersey for every game underneath his actual jersey, and I was no longer a fan of his.
Was that like in support of like free Bertuzzi, like hashtag free?
No,
Bertuzzi
it was in
sort of thing?
No, it's superstition. He was a Canucks fan, and he wore that shirt and won a couple times and kept wearing it.
That shit beautiful than a motherfucker.
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
You didn't know
love that man.
Morneau is a Canucks guy?
I don't even know who Morneau is, man.
Justin Morneau is like a Minnesota Twins legend.
I am not a baseball guy in the slightest. I know.
No, but I figured the Canucks tie would have like come up.
You know what? Like for how much I
think he's on the Twins broadcast now too.
For how much I listened to Sekerson Price and his love of baseball, I should have known that. I feel like, or they should have talked about it. But no, that's fucking awesome. And I might have honestly in the day of TSN 1040, rest in peace. I don't listen to a lot of local sports radios. I shouldn't say I don't listen to as much as I did when it was just the radio station from morning show to afternoon. You just had your fix. Right now,
is this the same score as the last time that we played Nashville at home?
I think it is
5-2, or maybe it wasn't even at home, but the one game where they got trounced 5-2.
Yeah.
Not great.
This third period, I mean, you all can probably tell who are tuning in. The lack of Hoppy and I just commenting live on this third period and having, engaging with the comments, which we absolutely
There's nothing to talk about. The Wild looked like shit.
There you go. I sometimes am good at embellishing and dragging things out. Hoppy, you're better at calling it how you see it. And today, I'm just going to agree with you. It's been an absolute shit third period, and the Wild don't deserve these points in this game. 2006 AL MVP Justin Morneau. No,
that shit beautiful than a motherfucker.
He should be honest. Had I not already said his name several times, would you have been able to pronounce that?
Yeah, because the EAU is O in French, so Morneau. I learned how to like all the grammatically. I learned everything French growing up because I was in French immersion. So even to this day, I don't know the English rules first. I always think of the French grammatical rules first. So the way I pronounce, if a name is spelt in a way that would have a French pronunciation, just like Seth's name, right? Our boy at Locked On, I'm always gonna default to the French pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
I think that's just a American or Minnesotaism, but anyway.
No, pronunciation is the word. You're saying pronunciation.
Okay.
You
English
pronounce
lessons.
something.
English lessons with Hoppy on the Soda stream.
Between you and Q, I got my work cut out for me.
Yeah, at least I'm like a grade above Q.
We'll find out. Maybe we'll play spelling bee.
Oh no. Did I already bring this up? Shane saying I'd say McDavid was the best, but not the most valuable.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I don't know enough about hockey to argue that though, but that's how it seems to be. No, that's a fair
I'm with
point.
you, Shane.
Andrew B agrees. Andrew B, a Leafs fan, saying Leafs game is pissing me off. Why do you like Martin St. Louis or Martin St. Louis? Martin St. Louis.
Have you ever seen him play, Andrew? Oh my God. The guy, not only his story coming from the NCAA, having to work his way in, being disregarded, thrown to the side like trash by the Calgary Flames, only to have him come back and extinguish them to win a cup. I honestly, he's, for my money, if I could like manufacture a line in a lab, it would be Mario Lemieux centering Phil Kessel and Martin St. Louis. That would be just, there's zero chemistry there. It's a weird line, but I love it. So good.
Did you like watch a lot of Tampa Bay then, just because of like when he was on the team? Like
I watched a good chunk. Yeah, it's actually funny because like a lot of people thought I was a Tampa fan, which like I wasn't. I just loved Marty, but
you obviously like rooted. I guess it'd be weird that did you root for the team or did you just want to watch him play?
It depended on who they played against.
Okay,
I would cheer for them over some teams, but I'm not like one of those people that says like, yeah, I've got like 7 favorite teams.
Yeah, Dylan's not like that either. He's a Canucks fan, and that's it. He's a Canucks fan.
Yeah, and there's a lot of teams that I'll tune into because I like their players, but like them winning or losing doesn't do a ton for me. But like, for example, when Tampa lost to Boston in 2011 in Game 7 to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, that one hurt me.
Dude,
I didn't like Boston, and I loved Marty, and I wanted to see him get back for another one. That one hurt. That one, I got real fucking
Hoppy. That one fucking hurt me too, because Vancouver would have fucking mopped the floor with Tampa Bay.
I don't agree.
The no defense Tampa Bay at the time.
There was definitely no defense.
That's the thing. Vancouver, like Boston was worst case scenario matchup for Vancouver.
Boston was definitely a worse matchup, but I don't think that Vancouver was a guarantee to beat Tampa.
Over Boston, it was a better chance, I'd say.
Oh, for personally. Sure. No, I agree entirely. I think Boston was a way worse matchup for you.
Dude, Tim Thomas, dude, fucking
just
crazy
flops around, luckily saves pucks. Dude, Tuukka Rask was better than him at that time.
Dude, Tuukka Rask was better than him in every facet of goaltending.
Makes me sad.
He really was. And I'm not saying that to disrespect Tim Thomas.
No,
Tim Thomas was one of those unique, crazy goaltenders who caught fire at the right time late in his career to win a Stanley Cup, and you got to respect the man.
Well, I respect it. I'm just not going to say that I think he's good. Like, I don't think he is, but awesome for him that he pulled together what he did.
It was like
sorry again, Z.
It was like a Hudobin with Dallas going to the finals, except
dude, I
Tim
loved
Thomas
Hudobin when he was at the Wild.
The question is for Isha, not you, Hoppy.
He doesn't like St. Louis, I don't think.
I don't not like St. Louis. You know, like
there you have it. That's his opinion on the player.
A lot of respect for the player. He wasn't like one that I would watch like Hoppy did. Like if I didn't like the team, like for example,
who's your weirdest like player crush that you've had?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I got some weird ones. Actually, it's not okay. It's not as weird as I make it sound, but there's definitely some that are like more obscure. Like about Nikolai Ehlers. He's my current one. Oh man, him and Braden Point are my like current. But historically, my favorite player that I would have loved to have play on like a team that I cared about, Mike Camilleri.
Oh, I
was obsessed.
Goal scoring machine for the Calgary Flames.
Dude, for the LA Kings.
Well, and the LA Kings.
Dude, him and Kopitar, had they stayed together, like I was on the fringe Because like I had a weird upbringing in hockey. Like I'm a Penguins fan because of Lemieux and because there wasn't a Wild team and stuff. But like I was kind of getting more into hockey. Like honestly, probably around the time of Crosby. I think it was like at the lockout. Like I really got into it because of Marty in 04. That's got me more into the NHL. So right before Crosby, I guess. But dude, I was so close with Camilleri and Kopitar to being a Kings fan. And then Camilleri got traded. I'm like, all right, I'm not a Kings fan. Okay.
Yeah. No, he was one of the only bright spots in Calgary after their, run in the mid 2000s when they were just like holding on to the core sort of thing. Camilleri is one of those players.
He was part of that, like just crazy run that Montreal had too with Halak.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He was their stud.
I forgot he was with Montreal for a bit.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, every French player usually ends up with Montreal.
Then what? He finished with New Jersey, maybe? I don't know if that sounds right. Maybe it's not New Jersey. He finished somewhere weird. So it wasn't Montreal.
Back to the Kings?
Not if he did. I'm sad that I didn't realize.
I'm gonna check.
Yeah, just figure it out.
Mike Camilleri. Yeah, New Jersey. I'm pretty sure it's the last team. Edmonton.
I was right. He went to Edmonton?
Edmonton was his last team. 51 games, 4 goals, 22 points. In 2018.
Gross.
Oh, he got traded. No, he did go back to the Kings for 15 games and was traded to Edmonton. He actually played pretty good in New Jersey for the 3 years he was there. 42 points, 38, 31. I mean, for an older guy, only playing 42 games, he got 38 points in 2016.
Dude, Mike Camilleri was a fucking star.
He's a fucking dude. Career high 80.
But he's one that like most people that are like more casual fans or newer fans, none of them know who the fuck Mike Camilleri is.
No,
that's why he's a fun one for me.
And it's funny because he just went back and forth with teams, and that's why it always throws me off. Because like LA, then Calgary for 1 year, then Montreal, then Calgary again, then New Jersey, then LA. Like
here's my guy now, Isha. That
hold on, one more thought on this. I honestly thought he's with Calgary longer than he was with LA. I honestly thought that.
Oh no.
That's crazy. It's because of the back and forth. But anyways, yeah. Sorry.
My current player that's a weird one that like most people don't know shit about. Oliver Bjorkstrand is such an underrated player. He's so sick. Fucking good.
He's so sick. That is a really good one. I don't know if I have one right now.
Current or past.
Past, it was there were two
not
fighters.
On your team. Not on your team.
No, there were two fighters, and one just happened to be on my team. And it was Rick Rippin, but like Bugard. I fucking love Derek Bugard, and I followed his entire career just because he was a Prince George Cougar. But that was why, like, and no one really talked about him because most people didn't talk about fighting, especially amongst my friends. Like, it was skill. Crosby and Ovi were just drafted good, but me, like, I fucking love the fighters coming out of the WHL because I watched more WHL hockey than NHL growing up. So fighters coming from junior were almost more stars in my eyes at the time from someone who like was watching hockey through elementary lenses. So yeah, Derek Bugard was one of mine from past. Right now though, Hedman, he's not underrated, but like that's who I love.
Okay, fair enough. I was gonna say that's like me saying Point.
No, I know.
I mean, it was when I started liking him, but like everyone knows who the fuck he is.
Yeah, and well, like I've always liked Victor Hedman too. So I don't think I have one right now, and it's probably because like I watch a lot of Wild games and Canucks games, but I haven't been watching a lot of NHL like I did even last year, the year before, because of thanks Dana White and UFC. My Saturdays have just been watching UFC now instead of hockey.
Oh, dude, very, very Isha-esque. I also really like Troy Terry just because of how sick he was for World Juniors. Like, you probably hate him for that too. He was so good for Team USA and World Juniors.
Oh, Andrew, we talked about Camilleri. I imagine he's got his jersey as Montreal. That's fucking sweet,
nice.
Man. I mean, again, I hate the Habs, but respect with that. I'm surprised Andrew even likes me because, like, I can't stand the Habs or the Maple Leafs, and I'm guessing those are like Andrew's favorite teams. Shane saying Jay Beagle again for my pick. Yeah, Shane knows me better than I know myself. You're right. You're right, Shane. You're right. Jay Beagle 100% would be that player but I guess not because I was a fan of Washington. It's supposed to be not the team that I'm a fan of, right? Like Washington was one of my the only reason
True.
I knew of JB was because I was a Washington fan.
Yeah,
right?
that's fair. I mean, same reason I can't say Pitlick, right?
Yeah. That's honestly though, I'm gonna bring this for like the next Sota pod recording, I think, which is in 24 hours. But I'm gonna sit down and reflect and just go through some teams, being, oh yeah, no, this is a guy. If I'm watching this team, like I'm always swooning over, or even of past, because I like that question. I know like there were always a few, and yeah, there was always a few of the past. I can't think of like them right off the top of my head, but I wanna go through this exercise because that seems like a lot of fun. Yeah, Shane, you're totally right. He's such a duty player. And Andrew saying, Hoppy, I like you.
Wow. Thank you, Andrew. I have actually never had someone say that in the comments. I appreciate it.
There you go. Well, that about is. I mean, we were in such good conversation. It's kind of a somber ending to a game where the Wild really needed to win. These were
lackluster. Yeah,
these were dire points.
Oh, they did get another one. So not the same score, 6-2. There you go.
Yeah. I played the
empties.
goal. Played the goal horn for Nashville.
Montreal just beat Philly. God damn, Philly's bad. I love it.
Philly's so bad this game. Before we sign off, because we're 3 hours and 19 minutes in, and actually, I forgot I had dinner plans. Quickly, last thing, because you just love to talk about the Philadelphia Flyers. No one saw them crashing and burning like they have been this season, right? No one saw them.
I saw the goaltending not being good. I did not see the team being this bad. I think Carter Hart's broken.
Yeah. Broken or maybe just.
But dude, the rest of their team, not good. Not good.
No, it's been a bad year. It's been a bad year for the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, that about does it for this live watch along here today. Nashville defeating the Minnesota Wild 6-2, man. What a crazy third period for the Nashville Predators to really just stomped on the Wild there, solidified that win. They scored 2 empty netters and really just held the Wild to nothing. The Wild were able to do anything in that third period, whether it was them running out of gas, again, because of this schedule, because of maybe being too overzealous going into this game. I don't know, but Nashville was the better team tonight. That second period, very entertaining. First period, kind of lackluster. So overall, not the best hockey game, but the Minnesota Wild are going to have to turn things around quickly, Hoppy, because the schedule and the rest of the season, it doesn't get any easier because you're digging yourselves more of a grave when you're losing to teams like Nashville, where you really have to make sure that they don't get any points out of these matchups, because that's what's really going to hurt them.
Oh man, is Dallas playing today?
Oh, I don't know. Let me check.
I do love those cream jerseys that Buffalo had. I keep on seeing that when I go to NHL.com, and that's nice.
They aren't playing today. They play Tuesday. The Dallas Stars, so making a trip out to Eastern Canada, visiting the Leafs in Montreal. But again, that about does it for today's watch along Sota stream. Thanks to everyone who's joined us. Thanks to everyone who stayed throughout the whole time and those who tuned in and out of the stream. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and check us out on all podcast feed at the Sota Pod. Podcast every single weekday on the Sota Pod podcast feed. We have a podcast dropping tomorrow on Monday, as well as Hoppy Now will be back Wednesday on the feed. Tuesday, you got your Minnesota Wild Prospect Talk. Thursday, you have your collaboration, Minnesota Wild podcast collaboration episode, and the Brewery Travels podcast. And Friday, you get your college hockey fix. We're in the thick of it, college hockey playoffs, so it's a lot of fun, and those shows are absolutely amazing. We'll go through the last few comments here before we hang up the skates. Clapham saying deal or no deal Minnesota. Dvorak to Montreal. I mean, we'll save that one. We'll get on Dvorak talk next time, because I feel like Hoppy and I will just go go too long. We get trade scenarios now. Andrew, did you turn your clocks last night? Yeah, that screwed with me this morning, Andrew.
The answer is no, he did not.
Chuck Fletcher building another contender.
Dude, Chuck Fletcher is not a bright dude.
And Andrew's saying he'll be here more on the Sota Pod watch-alongs or live streams. So thank you very much, Andrew. We will be back next week, 2 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Central, for a live 2-hour sports talk show, Minnesota Wild Hockey Talk Show. We'll bring some guests on. We'll continue to take your comments. And then the next Sunday where there is a Wild game, we'll be back for a watch along. So again, thanks to everyone tuning in. Check out the podcast if you haven't already. You can find Hoppy on Twitter at State of Hoppy. You can find myself at VI Sports Talk. Until next time, have a very good night, and we will see you next week.